Hi-ho silver, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFIve.
And Monkey.
And yeah, welcome to a week's worth of Disney news that, there's just nothing happening in Disney news, guys. It's a dry news week. We're going to talk about like a story about how a cast member adopted one of the lost stray cats at Disneyland.
Yeah, I'm just going to give a little half-hearted egg shake here.
All right, so folks, no, in all seriousness, we got a whole lot of news to go over with D23. We're going to break this down into two different sections, if you will. It'll almost be like Epcot. We have Monkey's on-field report, because Monkey, you were there, as was Donovan Martin.
Yes.
Yay! How you doing, Donovan? Also, Pink Pearl points out that they had a 3-dragon
Caballeros.
75th anniversary pin there. That's very cool.
I didn't see that, but I saw people cosplayed as the Caballeros. So
awesome. Donovan says he got an exclusive Frozen 2 pin. So keep the comments coming, guys. This is going to be a live chat, a live stream. If there ever was one, because we've got a lot of people here. We've got. I'm excited that Donovan actually went, because that's definitely going to give us some cool stuff to talk about with the live comments. Anyways, all right. Anyways, so Monkey, where do you want to start?
Just gonna give like some sort of general observations and experience notes. So there is definitely stuff to criticize about how, like, say, the operational stuff, but there was certainly some cool stuff there to catch. Like, yeah, certainly a bunch of celeb sightings, some neat things to see. But yeah, so I guess to start, early on the first day, I was something that came to mind was this old, first episode Family Guy bit that I realized you could take and just change a few words and it would apply to D23 Expo. Hey, who wants to play Wait in Line? Right here. You win. All right, what do I win? Another line. Yeah. So, it's interesting. There were times where I think some of the employees didn't seem to know exactly what the line setups would be.
Ooh, that's bad.
Yeah. There was some. And I know, this has always been an issue with D23 is the operational stuff, like some stuff with lines or, say, for the arena, the way it was run there was super weird, because they were like, we won't we won't open the standby line until an hour before the thing, which makes sense, but I don't know, then you have everyone who wants to wait for that just hanging around wherever, which means that when it does hit 10:30, it's like a crush of people trying to get into that line. And also, before then, it's like no one else is in that area. It's just like some big open pen that's not being used when it could be used. And then, overall for punctuality of the expo, I'd give it a D+. It's like you'd have panels that would not, maybe one of the panels I went to started on time, I'm not sure, and then so yeah, you'd have panels not starting on time and then not, and also ending later than scheduled to be ending. And I noticed at least with stuff in the arena, it looked like they would still be letting standby people in after the thing had already started. So general question. I don't know what's happening in your life. I get it. I don't know your life. But why bring infants to a convention? Just asking.
Fair point.
Yeah.
So I always raise the argument, why bring infants to Disneyland? But at least there's some credibility there. Yeah, a
Totally.
convention, there's no excuse.
Well, to be fair, when you take an infant to Disney, it's more like an accessory of like, hey, look what a good parent I am, infant here.
And also, infants get in free.
That's true. Yeah. That's also true. Yeah.
Sure. Let's see. So of course, it's funny. Like, I think there was at least one point each day where it's like I'm waiting in line for something, and whoever I'm kind of next to is like, it became a way to pass the time, just kvetching about how badly things were being run. Like, like in the first panel in the standby thing, the guy was like the dude who was kind of like in front of me was like talking about all the shit going on with how he and other people were having issues getting their badges.
I've been there. I've been complaining in lines during conventions. I know what that's like.
Yeah, so like, I don't remember every detail, but it seems like that was a big issue people were having. And then, of course, the whole stuff with the online reservations, which, let's see. This is the part where I would pull out a megaphone so I could announce to the whole world about how the online reservation thing that they tried out this year was bullshit!
So this is the Firefest section of D23.
I don't know what Firefest is, but yeah, like in the past, they've tried, in-person stage pass, which I only had like 1 day's experience with it, and it went well. So this time you're like, okay, we're going to try where you can reserve panel. You can get these stage passes through online reservations, which, I guess not a bad idea. So okay, we're going to do it this day at this time. That time rolls around. Okay, we're going to delay it an hour. That hour passes. Okay, we're doing it tomorrow. So we do it tomorrow. And a ton of people, myself included, weren't able to get a fucking thing. Like, say an hour passes, then at least an hour passes, we finally get in, nothing I want is available. Which, yeah, that's, that's certainly concerning. Like, that brought up, that was a stress fueler. It's like, okay, how early do I have to get there to do this thing? Like, to make sure I get in this thing. So, yeah. It's fine.
Just to emphasize the point, Donovan is very much in agreement with you, Monkey. He's saying it was completely reactionary. They did not test it. They had 2 years.
Yeah, like, was it?
2 years, and they did not.
They did not. Oh, hi, Mickey.
They did not.
Oh, hi, Marken.
All right.
Okay, wow, I'm way too proud of that. Yeah, this is like the 6th D23 Expo. It's 10 years since the first Expo.
Yep.
And still issues, which... It's funny, there was actually this hashtag that I used and other people were using on Twitter to, like, try and hook up with others. Like, okay, who has +1s for these things? Which I was able to pull some stuff off. And it was weird. Like, it seems that I think some people on Twitter didn't seem to realize that the D23 Expo friend hashtag had a specific purpose, because they just lump it in like, oh, hashtag D23, hashtag D23 Expo, yada, yada.
Uh-huh.
And then, I mean, with the panels, I guess you could risk standby and, which had a chance. And then, like I said, try to find a +1. But then you get stuff like, and this is probably my biggest rant about how stuff was run with this Expo, with the online reservations thing. So I wanted to do the photo op with the cast of Just Roll With It. And all of those reservations were booked by the time I got that. I mean, by the time I got in, they let me into that area, into that online reservation thing. And one of my thoughts, like, in the wake of that was like, dude, I doubt that many people really want to meet the cast of Just Roll With It. No offense intended to the cast of Just Roll With It, of course, but I mean, I doubt that's one of the, huge draws of the D23 Expo.
Right, it's not like getting into the MCU panel or anything.
Yeah, or like a signing, like, say, a Marvel signing or a Star Wars signing or the studio's presentation. So it's, a recent show that it's only been around for like 2 months. And I wouldn't expect as a huge fan base at the moment. But so anyway, so I passed by the area at the on the first morning, like once the floor opens, get a feel for it. And I realized something that had not been made clear at all. It was reservation only. Like these photo op things at the TV booth, reservation only. Are you what? That was not clear. Not only that, but so so I'm passing by. So I'm you could walk by and still like see these people, which I'm grateful I was able to see them. But I would like to have done photo op. But so yeah, and and I'm going by and I notice and multiple people were asking like if there was any standby and being told no and maybe to like check back later. And so yeah, there weren't a ton of people in that line, by the way, to do that.
That's ridiculous, dude.
It gets more ridiculous. So I head over to check something out at the Disney Plus Pavilion for a little while. I come back to see if there's any updates. Turns out, yeah, there wasn't that because there were so few people lined up, they just ended that photo op session early.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, if I would have assumed that reservations were just a percentage, but if in this case it's not, if it's not a percentage in this case, how many people are going to be there. Then you should know that it's not going to be that many people for this. Or maybe if you know that, you could open it up to standby so people could do that. Maybe, and you also got to kind of wonder what the actors think, so like, yeah, we didn't get that many people come, so we had to stop early. That's a pleasant thought.
Dude, this is just a ridiculous story, man.
Straight up, I'll say it, incompetent. Like, I'm not in, like, I wouldn't say, like, yeah, I wouldn't be one for, D23 negativity threads, but yeah, constructive criticism is earned.
Made by admins of said respected fan sites.
It's like the red shirts, Tiki. It's the red shirts.
Oh, you don't even know, Dragon. You don't even know the depths of Mice Chat. But Dragon, I do want to turn it over to Dragon because he has had horror stories like this. So what do you think of all this, Dragon?
Well, I can definitely speak from experience. See, what I had the red shirts, where it's something maybe not as prearranged as Monkey's example here, but it's something like you go there and you just want to basically when you do a meet and greet with a celebrity, you do like a meet and greet with a guest or like one of the media guests, if you will. And you have the line. They have these basically. I can speak from the Comic Cons. At my local Comic Con, there's sort of like they always have a themed color of shirt amongst like the helper crew, and last year it was red, and the problem is the red shirts as I kind of cutely called them, I guess, the red shirts, because they were the bane of my existence for those days. Like things that I had done in the past where I can like you just go up to a celebrity and say hi, even if you didn't go for like the purchase of an autograph or a photo op or whatever. Just can go up and say hi to them. Like one guy tells me like, no, you can't do it. You can't just say hello and there's no line or anything. He's like, wait, what? And of course, on the third day, I go up and I was like, I throw caution to the wind, like another red shirt that says, oh yeah, sure, go on ahead. It's like they don't know what they're doing. Just there's no communication amongst the group. They have no idea what's going on. You can't find out anything.
Nice segue, because there did seem to be some lack of communication among the staff this time. Like I remember the first standby thing, there was a point where it's like, okay, it wasn't clear where the front of the line would be placed in that room. Mm-hmm. And then later, so it gets placed like in the middle of the room, and then like eventually, you get the standby line like wrapping around to the other side of the room, and the staff member comes in and is like, when did this happen? What's going on? But yeah, so moving on, just gonna briefly mention some of my favorite cosplays that I saw. Let's see. There was a Deadpool as a Disney tourist.
Not bad.
Yeah, so like he had the headband with mouse ears and a sort of touristy floral shirt and with all the pins on it and shorts. So yeah, there was someone else was like she had a dress with like a cow pattern and cow ears. and a sign around her neck that said "Dishonor." Dishonor on you, dishonor on your cow.
It's on your whole family.
Yeah. There was a group of people who were dressed as characters from Pixar shorts.
Okay, give me details.
Yeah, so there were the volcanoes from lava, and they had like these big sculpted headpieces of them.
Nice.
Like, Tinny, the kid from La Luna, Nick the snowman.
Ooh.
Let's see. There was a pair of guys who were the dueling portraits from the Haunted Mansion. So they had the costumes and they had these big portrait frames. They would be like rolling in front of them. Another guy was dressed as Bucky, the Winter Soldier, with
very nice.
Yeah, with just the one arm, and with he's missing an arm, and with his other arm, he had a sign that on one side said "I've had worse," and on the other side said "It's just a flesh wound."
You know, it'd be funnier if the sign said "Rocket stole my arm." Like if if you see this arm, please tell me. Like you find like a little please return poster or something.
Yeah, it would have been funny, yeah. And I myself cosplayed on the second and third days as our Lord and Savior Sunny Eclipse.
Oh my God!
Some people did recognize who it was. That was nice. It's funny, there were even a couple people who had Sunny Eclipse T-shirts that liked it. Some people also were just like, "Oh, I like your jacket." It's funny. One guy says to me like, "Oh, I love your music. Are the Space Angels here?" that was great.
Hold on, Dragon. Do you know who Sunny Eclipse is?
I'm a little sketchy. Could you give me a refresher?
Monkey.
Cosmic Ray Starlight Cafe at the Magic Kingdom?
Not well.
It's like that restaurant on the edge of Tomorrowland near the teacups.
Okay.
So they have an animatronic lounge singer alien, and he is, no joke, my favorite thing about the entire resort.
Okay, that's a little familiar. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Pink Pearl mentioned the teacups. So
I didn't see this in person, but I saw a video of it.
And also, another one's kind of mentioned here by Donovan that Pink Pearl also saw that Tiki might want to look for this one, kind of put it up on the screen all nice and the one about SpiderMan. Anyone saw the vigil of Spider-Man? There apparently is a little vigil of Spider-Man kind of placed out.
I saw a picture. I didn't see it in person.
Of course, I think something noteworthy to bring up is the fact that Spider-Man, of course, while all this is going on, everyone's kind of in the wake of kind of the big Sony, kind of the big Sony Disney kind of fallout that's kind of the hoopla that's going on right now. And of course, coincidentally for Onward, Tom Holland is there, and Robert Downey Jr. is there to be awarded certain things. So yes, it's kind of just...
When I got into during the Disney Plus panel, towards the end of the Marvel section, when they're like, "Okay, here's this other thing we're doing, this other thing we're doing, and this other thing we're doing." So the lights go down for the third one that's being announced, and someone in the crowd shouts, "Spider-Man!"
I love the fact someone put a vigil ad for Tom, that's this incarnation of Spider-Man we hardly knew because it's up in there what's going to happen with it. I don't want to bury it. I don't want to bog everything down with all that speculation. So
yeah, and I don't know if the viewers can see this, but the sort of the profile picture I'm using for this is the thing I got of the photo op with the pointing Spider-Man. It was the photo op.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Also, I'm just gonna say this for a general thing. One last general thing, I guess. I'm okay not experiencing the Mickey disco party at center stage again.
Okay. Is this anything like the Tomorrowland party?
That was at least amusing. This was just bad disco.
Oh dear.
Or annoying disco, maybe if there was some irony that I could sort of attach to, like the Ethel Merman disco album, but no, I wasn't feeling that. So, shall we talk about the pavilion? Some of the pavilions, then.
Yeah, now, Dragon, do you know anything about these?
Well, about Pavilion, I mean, I believe I saw basically kind of some mock-ups to advertise the things coming to the park. I saw one for the Avengers. I didn't get
Funny. I was thinking let's talk about the parks one first.
Mm.
So they had, a section for Epcot with this model of Epcot that was pretty confusing. So it was like, what are they moving Spaceship Earth to the center and making everything a hill, making the park just a giant hill surrounding Spaceship Earth? I guess it was representational, but yeah. So I guess some kind of thing about Epcot, which just a little, not as much. They had some costumes for Runaway Railway and Tron, like a mock-up of the Runaway Railway vehicle, Tron vehicle. And then they also had a section devoted to Avengers Campus. It was funny. It had the little Vailu animatronic, like the ones in the Mission Breakout queue. Let's see. So then it had some maps and models, and there were some fun little touches if you looked for them. So it didn't really give details about what the attractions were, but it gave a little idea for what the place will look like. So yeah, that's the parks one.
There was a giant guitar on the side of the Mexico pyramid, right?
Right.
Okay, Pink Pearl lays out a challenge. She says, "If Coco takes over, I riot." So the three caballeros, they also play guitar. So what do you guys think about that giant guitar on the pyramid?
It would be nice if they're able to coexist. but I mean, a Coco attraction, it would make a lot of sense. It just would.
I would be sad to see
Run Fiesta go.
Yeah.
I would be too. But
I would be sad to see it go. My thought is that if Grand Fiesta has to leave, I don't want Coco to just be an overlay of Grand Fiesta.
Oh yeah.
I want them to use that whole pyramid to make a Coco e-ticket.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thought on it. Because honestly, they've grown out the Mexico Pavilion a little bit outside of the pyramid in recent years.
Indeed. So I'm not sure if there's much more to say on the park thing. I mean, they had a couple posters that were like revealing Sunday, and I actually happened to be there when they took those down to reveal like the stuff from Mary Poppins and the observation deck thing.
Oh yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, did you go into the Marvel Pavilion specifically? I mean, the
kind of. Like the Marvel thing, it was like, a section which just had like a spot for signings and things. So, and then on the other side was like, it had some costumes from the movies, and it had this thing like passing it on you would think it was just a photo op, a really good photo op, where it's like the backdrop was like all the portals opening in Endgame, and then it looked and then there was a big cardboard cutout panel like for you to stand in or something. So that's what I thought it was, and I figured, like, okay, I'll go there first thing on the second day so I can, because it looks cool, and just get it over with. And then I get there and I realize it's not a photo op, it's a video thing. Which, let's screen share here so I can show you the one that I made.
Let's go to the video.
Okay, can you see it, Captain America?
I can always see Captain America, Monkey. Come on.
Okay,
of course you can, Dragon. Of course you can.
Okay, so hopefully this plays okay for you guys. So here's what the thing actually does. So that was pretty much it.
Wait, who was that?
Yeah, who walked through the portal? What's the deal?
Me.
You?
Yeah, that was me.
Can we go? Can we roll the video again real quick?
Yeah, roll it again, Monkey. Roll it again.
Okay, I closed the tab, so I'll have to get back into it. Yeah, so that was me and my Sunny Eclipse cosplay.
Oh, okay.
So what? So
Yeah,
let me get this straight. So yeah, go on, tell us.
Yeah, so it wasn't a photo op. Like, they film you, they tell you, okay, step forward, do a pose, and so yeah, it superimposes you into this.
Wow.
And then yeah, Adventures assemble. So
That's okay. That's kind of a dream come true for me. That one, just like, oh god, yeah, you're on caps left. That's awesome.
yeah.
Oh boy, that sounds cool. All right.
Okay, so that was kind of all the Marvel panel was. I mean Pavilion. Let's see. So the Broadway thing, Disney theatricals had a neat thing. It was kind of like last time they had that thing where you could sit in a revolving chair and put on a headset and watch Lion King opening number in 360 degrees virtual reality. So in this case, they didn't do quite that, but what they did was it was like they had rows of seating, like you put the headset on, and it was kind of more of 180-degree view instead of 360. But like they played stuff from some of the shows, like namely Let It Go, Friend Like Me, and The Circle of Life. So maybe not quite as cool as the 360 Lion King, but still a neat one. I know in particular I liked looking down and seeing the stage. Like, so, there's the deck right on top of it. That is cool. And then as you exited, you could buy tickets for Frozen when it comes to Los Angeles. Let's see. Upstairs, they had an exhibit of Avatar stuff. So, like, stuff from the movies. Like,
did we see anything from the sequels, Monkey?
Not to my knowledge.
All right, let me ask this: was there a little note card in like a desk that said James Cameron will be back in 5 minutes, but he never comes back? Was there that there?
No.
Yep. Working on sequels. We'll be back in 5 minutes, aka 50 years.
Yeah, but yeah, so they had stuff like, say, mock-up models and props that were digitally scanned for the motion cap characters, actual props. They had the groundbreaking shovel from Animal Kingdom. So yeah. Downstairs was an exhibit of costumes. So like one room of just Cinderella costumes, and then a big room, and then another section like filled with a ton of costumes. So yay, cool costumes. Things that were on screen and are now in front of you. So the thought occurs, Bette Midler's costume was there, but Bette Midler didn't show up to the expo. Anyway, let's see, in the back right corner was like some Emporium thing, so like a bunch of booths, like people who had stuff there, like, you know, art and businesses, and it was cool. There was some stuff in like towards the back right that had like stuff from old attractions, like say an old dwarf animatronic from the original Snow White ride, or like say one of the old Living Seas Omnimover vehicles, a couple bird animatronics from the Florida Tiki Room, like from the 70s, or say it's some like old creepy storefront animatronic windows, display window animatronics. And then I found this amusing, like in that back right corner, just that back corner of the expo, like the vehicles from Heimlich's Choo Choo Train and Francis's Ladybug Boogie.
Huh. What do you know?
Interesting. Yeah, so like Tiki, I sent you guys the thing like, "Hi everybody, hello everybody, it's me, Heimlich. I'm a cute little photo op."
God.
Take pictures with me.
So yeah, that might cover it pavilion wise. So yeah, let's I'd just like to kind of go over, like, say, a list of, like, you know,
hold on. Before you do that, Donovan just wants me to share something really quick. So let me do that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
Well, while we're kind of pulling that up, Pink Pearl brings up the Target partnership. Tiki, got any thoughts on this?
I think people are kind of overreacting to it.
Yeah, I don't get what the full scope of it is. Is it like in regular Target stores?
I think people are overreacting to it because they think that Disney bought Target.
Well, I know that's not the case, but it's more. It seems
I know
more
for
like
a fact that's not the case, and that's why I think people are being stupid about it. Honestly,
it's more like a partnership, but I'm not sure how it's going to work out. So you walk into an average Target, and there's I guess like around the toy section or something. Is there going to be like a Disney's like a Disney store built in, or is it going to be like one of those things like you go into a bigger chain and like they have an additional store built in within a store? Is that how it works?
I honestly think it would probably just be like a section of a Target.
Right, that's what I was thinking.
That's my guess. I don't know. I just think that'd be a more, a more realistic way to go.
I'm intrigued by it, just curious how it's going to work. Okay.
So what are we looking at?
Yes, excellent question.
Okay, so Donovan got to meet one of the stars of Descendants 3, Sarah Jeffrey.
Yes.
This is one of the few people that he actually got to meet at D23. Hold on, I can pull up another.
And isn't this Dove Cameron, if I miss my guess, or is this? I'm sorry, couldn't.
No, this is Sarah Jeffrey. She, I'm not sure what role she plays. I'm sure Donovan can fill us in the chat. I'm sure he's eager to.
It's all right because I know it's not Sophia. Sophia Carlson plays Evie. Dove Cameron plays.
It's not Sophia Carlson.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I mean, this is literally
Audrey. She plays Audrey.
So.
She plays Audrey. She plays Audrey, Tiki. I believe that was Audrey. It's been a while, so Audrey played the daughter of not the blue. Wait, darn it, of the fairies. The
daughter of the fairy godmother.
It's either the daughter of the fairy godmother or it's the friend who was it's either that or the daughter of Belle from Beauty and the Beast. I can't remember.
All right, fair enough. Anyways, I just thought I'd share that.
Wait, no, it's not Belle from Beauty and the Beast. I'm sorry, I got that one script. Sorry, Don, my wires are crossed. If you could set me straight on this one. Oh, Aurora. That's what. Aurora. Thank you.
Daughter of Aurora. All right.
Yes. Okay. Because I was thinking one of the Mean Girls, and I thought, no, wait a minute, because our main guy's the son of the Belle and the Beast. That can't make any sense. But yeah, it's Aurora. So, anyway, sorry, we're getting off track here. But yeah, it's really cool.
But yeah, it kind of, I guess, serves as a segue because I didn't get to meet any of these people, but just to celebrity sightings I caught on the show floor, like just passing by things where someone was like doing a presentation or a photo op or signing, which, I couldn't take part in exactly, but it's still seeing that person in person. So let's see, going through the list. Mark Henn and Eric Goldberg.
Ooh, cool. Eric Goldberg, wonderful animator.
Let's see, the cast of Just Roll With It, as I mentioned. Goldblum.
Very nice. I heard Goldblum was great, and like when he was kind of talking to people, I thought it was wonderful.
Or something, yeah. I just caught the start of his thing, and it's like he did a little bit of like, MICKYMOUSE, Mickey Mouse. And of course, some of these people turned up, like Goldblum turned up in panels I caught throughout the thing, but, I'm just going through a list. So him, some of the cast of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I'm pretty sure included Clark Gregg.
Ooh. What about, I would assume Ming-Na Wen, who I actually have had the pleasure of meeting, by the way. She's lovely.
Oh, I don't think she was up there. I don't know. Let's see. Bob Gurr, Jerome Ranft. Yeah. Jerome Ranft.
Did you say Jerome Ranft?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he was talking about sculpting and stuff. So there was a bunch of stuff he was talking about, like stuff getting sculpted and translated into the stuff for Pixar Pier.
Nice.
Matthew Morrison, Bill Rogers and Camille Dixon, Floyd Norman, Jeff Shelley.
Floyd Norman.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, he knows, which I didn't take time to say hi or something, but I guess like he knows someone my mother works with, so.
Nice.
Of course, for anyone who wants to really learn about Floyd Norman, there's a wonderful documentary on Netflix. I'd highly recommend everybody check out Floyd Norman, This Animated Life. It's wonderful.
Yeah, so Jeff Shelley, Joe Achman, and Ashley Eckstein, Ali E. Cravallo, Haley Atwell, but I didn't realize it was I didn't realize it was Haley Atwell until like she'd already left or something.
I've met her too. She's
nice.
Great. It's kind of a fleeting meet and greet, but she's wonderful.
Although again, like Goldblum, I saw her in the Disney Plus thing. So
I had a thing where I've actually had famous people walk behind me. I kind of said hi to Zach Levi once. Flynn Rider. Otherwise,
nice.
Shazam. Chuck too.
Lovely. See, Skylar Rastin and Peyton Elizabeth Lee, Lauren Ridloff and Don Lee, Margaret Carey, Randy Newman.
Hey!
And the freaking Lopezes.
The Lopez.
Oh, goody, the Lopez.
Yeah, Kristen and Robert Lopez, which, oh, yeah, it's not like I've been into Avenue Q for the past decade. I wish I was able to see the sort of presentation thing they were doing at the Disney animation booth, but that's when I was doing standby for voices, which I wouldn't have had to if it weren't for the reservation crap, but, just get a glimpse of them doing a signing. Oh, well. It's something.
You don't know if Kevin Feige had a booth, do you? Because I could have sworn I heard that he had a booth and he was fielding some Spider-Man questions.
I don't know.
All right.
So yeah, that's Also, does Tim Tracker count? Should I include him in this list? It's not the same,
sure.
Yeah, he's not the same kind of celebrity, but he's still, I'd say he's enough of a name.
If I saw Tim Tracker at Disneyland, I'd be excited.
Yeah, so like Parks Tube. So it's funny. It's like, I've noticed this pattern. Like, I seem to have an alternating pattern with the Expo. Okay, your first time, do 1 day. Second time, all 3 days. Third time, 1 day. Fourth time, all 3 days. And the second and fourth time, there's a moment on like the second day where I encounter a Parks tuber. Like 2011, I was sitting in front of Tim Babb at one of the panels, and then this time I'm like waiting for the parade thing to start, and I'm looking across the path, and it's like, oh, is that Tim Tracker? And it was. So yay, thing. Let's see. So shall we move on into the panels that I got into?
Yes. Do you think you could crack it out in about 10 minutes or so?
I can try. Like, I'm sure some will be easier than others.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, so first panel, Great Moments with Walt Disney, is hosted by Randy.
I just want this to be an animatronic show so bad.
I wish. But the actual thing was still pretty neat. It was like Randy Thornton, he's like something with Disney Music or something. He brought in like this sound bites, like pieces of audio from this interview, like this casual interview Walt did with his daughter for some magazine or something.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So in this case, it was mainly music related stuff. So they played a few pieces of Walt, like him talking about the making of Steamboat Willie, and talking about the Three Little Pigs, which was like Disney's first hit song. So it was the Let It Go of its day. Working with Prokofiev, that's his name, the guy who made Peter and the Wolf. So like working with him, and I remember there was something like Prokofiev said, like, I made this piece of music hoping that you would use it in one of your cartoons. So yeah, that was a mess. And then also like some final words where Walt was talking about, yeah, I know these people like Charles Mintz and people who have screwed me over. Like, don't cast them as like, these bad people. So, and I actually feel better when stuff's going wrong than when stuff's going right, or things like that. So it's like, how can I feel more concerned when something's a success, like maybe a learning from failure type thing. I don't know. But yeah, so that was a nice panel.
Yeah, I believe that quote you're talking about. I heard it at the museum.
Nice, yeah.
The whole thing about like, yeah, it's when things are going wrong that I'm at my high point. I worry when everything's going right.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
It's a solid quote.
Yeah, I remember Thornton mentioned at one point talking with Richard Sherman about like, how how I have these things, and then Sherman was like, I'll be right back, and he brings in like all the tapes of the Mary Poppins development meetings with P.L. Travers. So like, these tapes of Walt and also these Travers ones, certainly helped out during the making of Saving Mr. Banks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice panel. You know, it's like he showed the pictures of Walt doing this interview, like just in a hammock in his backyard. And so he's like, you could just close your eyes and picture Walt there. It's telling you all this.
Interview by hammock. Classic Disney.
Yeah. So let's see. So that day I also got into the Disney Plus panel. This was my decision to go, and this was kind of like back when before the Voices panel took Hall D23. It's like it's a way to get into Hall D23, and it's a way to see presumably see a bunch of cool people and not have to worry about spoilers for things I care about. Like, say, with the studios panel. And yeah, it definitely delivered. Like, you know, some projects were more exciting than others, but yeah, definitely some really cool turnout for this thing. I'd say, like, not counting the Muppets one, because, you know, of course that looks great, and the Goldblum show looks good as well. There were like three particular standouts for me. WandaVision I love how they give you just enough information, like, but not a lot, like just enough to make you think, what the hell is this going to be? I want to know. Let's see. This is something that was only shown briefly during a montage of nonfiction content. It was something called Pixar in Real Life. From the few brief clips they showed, it looked kind of like maybe not quite a prank show, but sort of like that, where they'd have like Pixar characters just going around in the street like this, like Wall-E coming out of boxes, or the one that my favorite was like this kid dressed as Russell was running around, and then it cuts to like some old man dressed as Carl, like walking around calling out for Russell. That was hilarious.
I think I found my new favorite prank show.
Yeah, so that yeah, and then also like some original movie called like Timmy Failure, Mistakes Were Made. I think it's based on a book. It's like this kid who likes to sort of be a detective, and he has a polar bear sidekick. And the clip they showed was pretty funny. It was like it ultimately turns him trying to figure out like how the class hamster died. And he's like super serious about it. Like the kid playing the title character was hilarious. Like maybe not quite deadpan, but like a sort of serious, like maybe not quite say what we got with Dora in the City of Gold, but that's what it kind of reminded me of just like being committed to this one character type.
Gotcha.
Like as a serious private eye, like no, it's the evidence or whatever, and who would have had it out, like whatever. So yeah, I got my Disney Plus. I mean, what was it? You know, I ended up opting with. My seat was like way over, like pretty close to the left wall, so you know, I didn't have great visuals of the people on stage. Like, you know, they looked small and you couldn't make out their faces, and because I was on the side, sometimes they blocked each other, but hey, it's still seeing them in person. That's still neat. Like, and that was like a ton of cool names there. And yeah, I got the Disney Plus offer they were doing at the Disney Plus Pavilion. I did that. And I was amused seeing some of the stuff that they were showing as stuff that would be on Disney Plus, like Beauty and the Beast, The Enchanted Christmas. Like, I just imagined the Tim Curry organ being like, they can't get Disney Plus if they're dead.
God.
When they had the footage for The Phantom Menace, I noticed that it didn't have a single frame of Jar Jar Binks. And I was very amused to see that Disney Plus will have the Country Bears movie.
Oh God, yes.
Okay, so next day, the Haunted Mansion celebrating 50 years. So yeah, like I was kind of at the front of the top level of the Expo arena, so you know, not close, but the people on stage felt a little more visible than the Disney Plus one. Like, you know, they looked three-dimensional and you could see a little of their faces. So I may need to sort of cross-reference this. It was hosted by, come on, work with me, Disney Updates site thing. Here we are. It was hosted by Kevin Lively, the story editor for Imagineering. The guests included Daniel Joseph, who worked like he's an Illusioneer who worked on bringing back the Hatbox Ghost. So he showed, like, he talked a bit about that, showed like how some, like, he did a little illusions demonstration. Where's his name? I believe Chris Merritt was his name. He and Pete Docter were making a book about Mark Davis, so we talked about his experiences, you know, with Mark Davis. They had, there was another story editor person. I don't remember what she talked about, or her name. So, let's see. They showed a video because, like, Kevin Lively was a skipper, so they showed this video of Jungle Cruise skippers giving a tour of the mansion. So,
God.
So like them going through the attraction and riffing on it. My personal favorite puns of that were like how Madame Leota, like, I asked Madame Leota what her hat size is, and she said, "I'm a medium." There was a point where one guy kept making a bunch of shoe jokes. That was like just a whole succession of shoe puns. That was funny. And then, so then they were like, okay, we found this, you know, draft of the Haunted Mansion script, you know, an earlier draft from maybe like a year before it opened, and we're going to do a dramatic reading of it.
Oh my God.
So to read it, as the mysterious medium, the role that became Madame Leota, they brought out Kelsey McCullough, however you say it, ex Atensio's granddaughter, who she talked a bit about, you know, her grandfather. Reading the stage directions or whatever, what was narrating was the tightrope woman from the stretching room.
Okay.
And then this was maybe one of my favorite like I mentioned to you guys in our group chat, like they had an incredible guest appearance on the latter part.
And I did not look up who this is. So
yeah, so I was thinking, so for the role of the ghost host, you know, in my mind, I was thinking they'd probably bring out Corey Burden to do it.
Right, that's what I'm thinking, yeah.
So Lively says, you know, for the ghost host, we know, you know, this role needs someone with gravitas, you know, who needs to be perfect for this role, the biggest name possible, like the best possible person to do it. And we found who it was. Ladies and gentlemen, reading the ghost host, the Phantom of the Muppet Theater, Uncle Deadly.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Are you about to tell me that Uncle Deadly came on the stage and read?
Yes.
Full on Uncle Deadly, not the Muppeteer, but Uncle Deadly.
No, it was the Muppet with like Matt Vogel and another Muppeteer. Oh. So like the two Muppets.
Man, but still, that's
well,
awesome.
Yeah, it's a friggin' Muppet. Uncle Deadly is the ghost host. So like you had Matt Vogel and another guy sitting like on these rolling platform things to go out to their spot and like go to the mic stands and I thought, you know, it made sense because, you know, he would have been doing Kermit at another panel that day. So I guess while you got him.
Oh, I definitely need to look into that.
Yeah, there's video online, definitely.
Uncle Deadly, how wonderful.
Yeah. And then there were also a couple artists doing some artwork during the thing, like just off on the side. So that, and then they showed their work at the end. That was nice. So allow me a sip of water, please. Okay, so then the other panel that day was the music of Aladdin. This is one where I was able to be someone's +1. And we ended up doing, it's funny, both +1s I did, like we ended up doing gold. So like I was pretty close to the stage, like just off to the side of it, but still like 5th row.
Yeah, I saw a picture of where you were sitting. You looked pretty close.
It was kind of fun walking in.
But it wasn't as good of a view as the M&M stairs, though.
Oh, fuck no.
Right.
So yeah, it was kind of funny when you're walking in. Like I'm listening to the music. It's like some Arabian sounding music, and I'm thinking, wait, this is The Entertainer.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, they had Arabian sounding versions of songs like The Entertainer and In the Mood and Surfing USA. It was fun. The carpet from the DCA show like appeared on stage during a few times during pre-show. You know, so just some dancing around. So then there was a whole ensemble of singers and dancers. Ron Musker, right? Ron is Musker, right?
Ron Musker and John. Wait, is it Ron Clements and John Musker?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Okay, so Ron Clements and Mark Henn were in the front row for that, which and shortly afterward, after they were pointed out, they mentioned that time that Scott Weinger was briefly dressed as Aladdin on Full House, in that 2-part Disney World episode that featured Mark Henn as Uncle Joey's coffee monkey. Somehow I saw I at least caught some glimpse of Mark Henn every day. But anyhow, so you had Scott Weinger as kind of like a host of it. You had Brad Kane, Linda Larkin, Dee Dee Magno Hall showed up because she was the original Jasmine at the Hyperion. She sang To Be Free. Let's see. And then Lilius White did Speechless. That was cool. Mina Masood showed up. Talk about some of it. Oh yeah, what was it? Clinton Greenspan was there. He plays Aladdin on tour and he's going to take over the role on Broadway. So he sang Proud of Your Boy. I don't know why that's a running joke between you guys. I just know it is.
It is.
I honestly don't know why it is either, but it just is.
I remember there was this point where they showed some footage of Weinger and Menken recently, Menken giving Weinger a singing lesson for Part of Your Boy and Proud of Your Boy, and Weinger wasn't great. And there was certainly some old footage of recording sessions and let's see, Will Smith wasn't there, but he sent, a video greeting and he introduced the... Oh yeah, what was it? No, before I get to that, they showed a deleted song from the live action movie. But yeah, so Will Smith introduced the choreographer of the live action movie, and and he and his assistant and some of the ensemble did the dance for Friend Like Me. That was cool. And the Will Smith version of Friend Like Me, to be specific. And then to wrap it up, yeah, it was cool. This presentation had some smoke and pyro in it. And to close the thing was they had Regina Bell come out, and of course they couldn't get Peebo couldn't be there. That's his name, right? Peebo.
I have no idea.
Whoever whoever does the pop duet of Whole New World. So he wasn't there. She was. So to do the male part, they had fracking Norm Lewis, Broadway performer Norm Lewis.
Norm.
And, come on, Dragon. But yeah, seriously. So yeah, Norm Lewis, cool name in the theater community, and he starts singing, he's doing the first verse of the song, and I'm thinking I'm sitting there listening to him sing live, and I'm thinking, I might cry. So, yeah, I'd say maybe it's that was definitely a highlight of the Expo, was getting to see Norm Lewis sing live. Oh. Wow, that sound I did there was creepy. So, anyway, let's see. Next morning,
Monkey, how many more panels do you have? Because we really need.
Two.
We have 3 days worth of news we need to get into.
Okay, there's only 2 left.
Well, just be quick about it, man. All right.
Okay, the Little Mermaid panel. It was hosted by Jodie Benson. It started with her and some little girl singing "Part of Your World." There was a Sebastian puppet that showed up a few times. The guests were, come on, Paige, work with me on who the guests are. So there was Ron Clements, Where's his name? Michael Peraza, I think is the name. Michael Peraza, who was like art director for the movie. I remember they also showed some behind the scene clips of like, Clements working with Buddy Hackett or Howard Ashman directing Jodie Benson. Let's see, who else was there? Mark Hatton. Let's see, Ruben. Okay, wait, there was some kind of funny but also awkward bit where they brought like guys upstage, pick one to be Eric so Jodie Benson can finally have someone kiss the girl. Let's see, so they had Ruben Aquino, who was the lead animator for Ursula, and they had some like video message from Pat Carroll. Then surprise guest Ali Carvalho, who's going to be in the ABC special. And then they did Under the Sea, which had like bubbles and some people doing these blue tarp sheets or whatever to be waves. So like, again, I was in a gold section for this. So I was like in the middle of the waves, which was cool, though I would like to have known how the thing looked up above. And then later that day, it was Disney Character Voices Inc. 30th anniversary celebration. So it's no Voices of the Parks, but still neat. Let's see. There were a couple people who turned up that weren't listed beforehand, like, say, Corey Burden and Jim Cummings. So the guests included, like, it was hosted by Rick Dempsey, who's like SVP of Character Voices, and the other guy, someone who also came up with it, was there as well to talk about it. There was this part I really liked where they showed a photo of, like, at Disney World, this old photo from the 80s of like Wayne Allwine and Russi Taylor and Tony Anselmo and Bill Farmer with their characters. Let's see. So they had some stuff with like Brett Iwan and Bill Farmer and Tony Anselmo. I'll get to this funny story I have about them later. Let's see. They brought a couple people on stage to do voices with Jim Cummings and Corey Burden. Anthony Gonzalez showed up. And because his voice is deepened, now his little brother is the voice of Miguel. They sang Remember Me. Then there was kind of like a leading lady section with Anika Noni Rose, who wasn't going to be there because she was going to be out of town, but she came back early, so here. And so Anika Noni Rose and Linda Larkin and Paige O'Hara and Jodie Benson. And then at one point they added on Jennifer Goodwin. There was a bit where they said each other's lines as their characters, like Tiana saying a Belle line or Judy Hopps saying Ariel line. And then they brought out Ali Carvalho. And at the end, she sang How Far I'll Go. And it was kind of crazy, like at the end when you get everyone on stage together. So like seeing like Jim Cummings and Corey Burden on the same stage as, say, the Princesses. So I think my favorite moment in this was like this point where Iwan and Farmer and Anselmo are talking about, like, stories about like a thing that's like a notable touching moment. So like Iwan talked about like he and his brother hearing his voice say Some Imagination, huh? Farmer talked about Muhammad Ali, like praising him for calling kids in the hospital as goofy. And Anselmo's story was just, I never want to forget this bit of audio. He talks about, he was visiting at a hospital with Clarence Nash, and there was some little kid who was crying, like she'd just gotten her tonsils taken out, and it's like she keeps, ruining her throat. She needs to stop crying. So, and Clarence Nash had the Donald puppet with him, so he has the Donald puppet say to the kid, "Shut up!" And that worked. Yeah, just hearing. Yeah, that moment of hearing Donald say "shut up," I never want to forget that. So I guess that's it with the panels. So what kind of news we talking about?
All right. Well, that brings us, so we're going to dive right on into the TV portion of things here. Real quick, before we get anything, just kind of to segue us into the TV panel that we had. Donovan Martin got to go to the Simpsons panel, which, of course, one of the properties that Disney has kind of absorbed in things, as the many things they've absorbed into with the Fox arrangement, is the Simpsons. So I guess they went big with it. So, yeah. Or not much more to add with the Simpsons of it all there, folks. I don't Tiki. I mean, you're more of the Simpsons aficionado than I, sir.
All I know is that Disney is like aggressively trying to add it into the repertoire of Disney properties. Like, Rob, didn't you say that it was part of the music
lobby
loop
music loop?
23?
It was like part of the music loop in the lobby, yeah.
Uh-huh. So
Like,
I
and
think
they
they
had
are kind of pushing it.
characters above the Disney Plus booth. So.
Right.
Okay, so let's start off with the MCU stuff. So, of course, the biggest announcement that we had were 3 shows were added to the roster of the kind of the Phase 4 roster of shows that apparently, given what's been revealed at D23, it sounds pretty much like that lineup will absolutely intertwine with the movies that were announced. Like if there was any doubt, I think a lot of that's been put to bed that Phase 4 is in part, the TV stuff will definitely feed into the Phase 4 as a grand whole. You're going to get your money's worth if you see the TV shows, as well as what movies are coming. But the 3 shows that were announced, the big ones, with a lot of crossover potential. Let's go through them in the way they were announced by the man himself, by Kevin Feige himself. First off, we had Ms. Marvel. So, Miss Marvel, for those who may not be aware, Miss Marvel essentially she is, and I really appreciated this too. Kevin Feige just being ever the salesman. He really he kind of gave the sales pitch for people who've never heard of these characters. And I feel antique. How do you feel they were descriptive enough? Or did you hear anything about how he described them or anything?
No, honestly, I didn't look into that, to tell you the truth.
Well, it's nothing major. I'm saying he gave like a 1-sentence sell, but it's actually a perfect summation the way he put it. He basically Miss Marvel. She's kind of a teen Muslim Pakistani heroine. She's a Jersey girl. The idea she's Jersey-based hero. Of course, as you can tell with Miss Marvel, originally in the comics, Captain Marvel started off as Miss Marvel, and she worked her way up. So the idea is the MCU is going to kind of introduce her. It's unclear how much of a Captain Marvel connector is going to be. I would bet that someone inspired by Captain Marvel. That's my guess. We'll see how that goes. I have no idea how they're going to introduce her without the whole lineage of Captain Marvel built in there. So the idea is that she was really popular in the comics. She had a real fan base. Like I believe won some Eisner Awards. So very interesting, and Feige teased like she may be entering into the movies, which implies to me. I know Brie Larson, of course, take that with a grain of salt. Brie Larson's very gun-ho, like, yeah, let's bring her into the sequel. So we'll see how that goes. I don't think it can hurt at this point. If the first Captain Marvel movie's kind of shot, so let's see where we're gonna go with it.
All right. Donovan said, or I'm sorry, Dragon, keep going.
Right, so then we get to Moon Knight. Moon Knight's
the guy sitting next to me was super stoked about this one.
Everyone,
this is the first I've ever heard of Moon Knight, but yeah,
one of our close associates, Tiki, Jacob Gulliver. He is a huge.
He's stoked, Dragon. He's stoked.
Second or third to Doctor Strange. I think Moon Knight has a grand position there. Moon Knight is a big fan. Everyone wanted Moon Knight to be the next in the line. Basically, when there was a hope that in another phase of Netflix shows, like when we get the Punisher and everything, then we get like a whole other like kind of another 4 heroes or so, another 4 different shows, and Moon Knight was the biggest hope of all those shows. And Moon Knight, essentially, he's, and of course, the cell, I think Ken Valley really well summed it up here. We're basically a mercenary who's in a desert, basically stranded in a desert. He is given powers from an Egyptian moon god, or he's insane. That's the gimmick with Moon Knight. No one knows if he's crazy or if he's actually got his powers from a moon god. Because he's pretty much. I can't go on. I know very little about Moon Knight. I believe he's kind of a vaguely Batman-esque character. I say vaguely because again, he is having a very different gimmick than what I shall don the image of a bat. So, but the point is, he's kind of like a somewhat of a moral guy who's really a really smart fighter and everything. The question is like, is he powered or is he just crazy? So Moon Knight will be very exciting, I'm sure. He's got a great costume, really solid gimmick, and I'm eager to learn about Moon Knight, to put it simply.
All right.
All right, so then we have, of course, the one I'm most excited for. Oh God, I'm waiting for this one for so long. I wanted this to be a Netflix show, but we're finally going to get it officially. We're finally going to get it here in a big way in Disney Plus. She-Hulk, man, we're getting freaking.
Yeah, this is pretty cool, and I love how they have the logo with the lipstick and everything.
Oh yeah. So my God, She-Hulk. This is a wish come true for me. It's in a perfect world, So yeah, we're gonna reintroduce Daredevil through She-Hulk, like Matt Murdock might appear in the show. But again, I'm counting my chickens before they hatch on that one. But it's all is possible when you have another superhero in the MCU who is a lawyer. All is possible. I mean, best case scenario, she could be. This show could be the MCU's Better Call Saul. Perfect in a perfect universe, in a well balanced universe, one could say. Or it could be basically Ally McBeal with more action. Either or, I'd be welcome to. Assumedly, it's going to be the same story where it's she's Bruce Banner's cousin and she needs a blood transfusion, and in doing so, turns her into a Hulk. So presumably, that's going to be the case. That's kind of what Feige said. So if they go that route, and hopefully they do, because that's kind of what it is. If they go that route, it would be a nice, smart idea of, okay, we kind of played out the Hulk story. The Hulk has kind of reached the end of his story. How do we kind of keep doing things with him? Well, good news. This is a logical way to continue his story, where he kind of passes the torch in one way, shape, or form. Because right now, he kind of has the bum arm. He's just going to be kind of going around doing things nowadays.
Yeah, I do think that this has the potential to end Hulk's storyline for the most part, or to kind of like retire him out as a legacy character. I agree with you.
I think it's a good idea. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right, so then we get to some updates and some posters and like little reveals here. So these should go by a little quicker. A lot of casting reveals too. We have Falcon and Winter Soldier, as you can see by the left. What we have presented here. So one thing I've been waiting for this for a while now. The Winter Soldier finally got a haircut.
Yeah,
I know it sounds very simple, but you know what? He looks better without the long hair, in my opinion. In my humble opinion. Yeah, but in all seriousness,
the long hair.
I'm sorry?
He bucked the long hair.
I guess, yeah.
Bad puns.
Anywho. So, point being, I'm still so stoked for this show. I am. I actually read some of the Falcon Cap comics, the whole Sam Wilson Captain America stuff to get prepared for this show, and I'm telling you, I'm even more sold in it than I already was. It's looking really good. Of course, they revealed, our casting of, we have Baron Zemo coming back, with Daniel Brühl. We got Sharon Carter, and here's the new casting we didn't know about. This is a big one. We have John Walker is going to be in this show, played by Wyatt Russell. Now, John Walker played a character. Basically, John Walker, his alter ego is the U.S. agent. So the idea, Tiki, is that the U.S. agent was kind of the government's answer to Captain America once. I believe when Cap went rogue, but when he did his Nomad thing, basically in Infinity War, when he kind of went away from the Captain America identity. When he did that, they got a guy to fill in for him. And this was after he basically had a supervillain who was a Captain America knockoff, and they turned him into an anti-hero in the form of the U.S. agent, basically Captain America in a black suit. And I think it's very interesting because I think the crux of this show and the kind of the premise and the way the comics go and the way that I'm getting a sense, I'm really hoping we're going direction-wise with this show is, the idea is that, Falcon was given the mantle by Captain America. He got the approval from the man himself.
Yeah, someone in the audience shouted, "Captain America!" when Anthony Mackie came on stage.
Very nice.
That was nice.
Yeah. And the idea of the story is that the government disapproves of Sam Wilson as Captain America. Presumably that's what the show is going to be about as well. And I would imagine, it's filling in the blanks here, I'd imagine, okay, so the government disapproves of Sam Wilson as the choice for Captain America, and they have their own guy in the form of the U.S. agent as their Captain America. And I imagine Zemo would be running with, basically he feeds on insurrection and people being kind of politically against each other. So I'm sure he's gonna be at home with this. He's gonna work all this to his advantage. Of course, Bucky has a grudge against Zemo. So all this is very interesting, and I think visually what we have going on here.
Remind me, is Zemo a villain from Civil War?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
And also Bucky with his look and everything too, is with the outfit and everything. It's very indicative of the first Avenger Captain America, which implies again it's kind of taking him back to his roots of being Captain America's is the man on his left. Being he's going to be the right hand man, the left hand man to Falcon. So that's really good. All right, let's move on to WandaVision. So WandaVision, this one has
honestly stole the Marvel side of Disney Plus for me. I was not expecting to be as into this.
This confirms something I was really hoping for.
Yeah, it honestly kind of stole the Disney Plus panel, really.
It did. You know why? So So, by the way, also they confirmed August 2020 for Falcon Winter Soldier, and within the same year, in the following year, we have WandaVision early 2021. Now, you'll notice the poster is very 50s-esque, and when they were kind of bringing out the guest, it was
they didn't have the poster in the panels, so.
Oh, that's a shame. That doesn't make any sense to me, but okay. Point being, when they did this, they had like 50s, very kind of like classic kind of 50s.
When they walked out, playing. Yeah.
Now they did this for a reason, as you can tell by the poster and everything here. This is very much borrowing from the Tom King Vision, very acclaimed story about the Vision, where essentially the Vision had a family and a very kind of like 50s suburbia existence with a kind of a robot family of his own, which ended very tragic because Tom King loves to do that sort of thing. Of course, Tom King being the big Batman writer these days. The point being, they're going the Tom King route, which I think is a really interesting way to go, and presumably we're going to kind of field a lot of Scarlet Witch's grief over losing Vision through doing this. Like she's either, Smart Money says this is like a self-induced thing where she's creating a vision, like she kind of made everyone see things in Age of Ultron for herself and kind of coping with the loss of Vision, or she's using her powers and actually creating a whole new reality, which is going to throw things into chaos, which, as we had confirmed, wonderfully so, this is going to be a lead into Doctor Strange and the madness of the multiverse. So that's really good thing. That's really good to hear. It was kind of speculated, but now it's confirmed. This will be a lead into it, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked for just the idea of an MCU sitcom. I like personally, I love those classic 1950s sitcoms like the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Yeah, Dick Van Dyke is the one they were specifically calling out to.
Right.
Like the trailer was alternating footage of Dick Van Dyke's show and Wanda and Vision.
Was Dick Van Dyke there by any chance?
What?
Was Dick Van Dyke
no.
by any chance?
No.
That would have been fun.
No, he was at the Parks panel apparently, but
okay.
But yeah, I was kind of hoping that they would. I think if I remember right, I was hoping that they would announce him playing the nosy neighbor.
Oh my god, that'd be great.
Okay, so we do have casting in this show, though. They added more to it. So initially, we knew Monica Rambeau was going to be in this. So basically, the little girl from Captain Marvel grown up. So she's going to be in this. We're also going to have Agent Wu, Randall Park's character from Ant-Man and the Wasp, the friendly guy.
Yeah, that was an out of left field bit of casting that I'm pretty excited for.
Randall Park's great, man.
Yeah,
we have Darcy making a return, which is so out of left field. That's what's.
That's the one I'm not so excited for.
But it's just so funny. Like, we're bringing back.
I don't mind her.
We're bringing back Jane Foster after all this time, and we're even bringing back Darcy, but putting her in one of the shows.
Like, that's kind of like what I was talking about before. It's like, what the hell is this going to be? I want to know.
I mean, you gotta admit to you, that's kind of a fascinating kind of self-revelation. Like
Skarsgård.
I'm saying people are just coming out of the woodwork at it, like they're really, it's like the Russos very famously, they had like a board full of all the characters from the entire MCU. They would decide who was going to be in the movies and who wouldn't be. And just the fact that we're kind of still using that sort of method, like, let's just pull some people from left field, let's put them in here, see what we can do with them. Hopefully with hopefully with some good intentions. And also Catherine Hahn, a Spider-Verse pull. Not that she's going to be a Spider-Verse character, as far as we know. Catherine Hahn, she's going to be the nosy neighbor.
Nice.
All right, let's see. That's pretty much all we know. But again, WandaVision absolutely is cleaning up. Oh, one more thing. A thing I've always wanted to see. The only missed opportunity for me in the entire MCU with Scarlet Witch has been she never got the headband. And in the poster, you can't see it here, but in the poster, you can see a shadow on the wall, which is really cool and really creepy. The shadow on the wall, Vision, and the Scarlet Witch. And the Scarlet Witch, she has the headband. Look at the crown-like headband I've always wanted to see, which gets me excited. Man, WandaVision has, I think, in terms of the implications of the greater MCU, I think is probably the most fascinating of all. All right, so then we get to What If, and of course, What If, nothing really majorly new, only they confirmed something as pretty much said. We got to see some art from it with one of presumably the first What If is going to be what if Peggy Carter was Captain America, and they showed some concept art, which looks great.
Captain Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, I won't deny, I wasn't crazy about the animation style, but hey, it's still a great premise for a show.
Did they have any footage for it?
Yeah, they had a trailer for it.
Man, I want to see that. But yeah, okay. Well, I will see how it goes. Again, they can't do any worse than what they've done on TV. So I don't think they've done pretty bad ever since they canceled all the good shows like your Spectacular Spider-Man's or Smiley's Heroes. It's kind of gone downhill for them. So at the very least, animation wise, it can't be any worse. But content wise, I'm pulling for them. I really am. But yes, the Tiki mentioned the Captain Britain of it all. Yeah, it's really interesting. It makes sense too, because again, she's kind of like I love the idea of like she was kind of a wash out of the Captain America program. Maybe took it in her own way. It's kind of what that implies to me. Like we wanted the American symbol, but that fell through, and perhaps they're going to do that with the whole Howard Stark and basically Steve Rogers as the '40s Iron Man with a suit that Howard Stark built. So we'll see how that goes.
We'll see.
One is very interesting. It was some really cool concept art. All right, so let's see. Moving on to the Star Wars of it all here.
Yeah, Monkey, did you watch the Mandalorian trailer? What was your situation like with that? Oh, he's muted. Well, shoot, I don't know.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, I forgot that it was muted. Yeah, so they showed the trailer at the thing.
So you don't mind us talking about it?
Correct.
All right, just making sure.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
Mandalorian looks pretty incredible. I got to be honest.
Oh yeah.
It's like I feel like sometimes I feel like a sucker with Star Wars, where it's like they're just reeling me in with this imagery, man. But like I effing love the Vlad the Impaler style stormtrooper heads on the spikes and stuff like that. I mean, oh man, just that stuff alone just really gets me excited for Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, and of course.
The IG-88 looking droid, looking like he kicks plenty of ass in this show.
IG-11.
Yeah, Taika Waititi, he was there.
Mm-hmm. He's doing the voice of IG-11.
Yeah. Cool. That was.
It looks like he's going to be kind of the sidekick to the Mandalorian, which is interesting from the looks of things. But yeah, it's very well shot. To continue, basically, I was already sold on the Mandalorian from that kind of glimpse they had at, I forget if it was Comic-Con or in the Star Wars Celebration. No, it was Star Wars Celebration, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah.
That's the thing. It looks very much like basically it's kind of like some extra shots of that. Basically, we got like a really solid glimpse in cell of. We basically saw a scene from that show, so it's not exactly the same thing. But again, still we had some really cool stuff in the latter half of this little clip this little teaser that they had there. Because of course, I think I love that it was mostly silent until we had the Werner Herzog character speaking. Basically, asking it's a bounty hunter. It's a tricky business, essentially, is what he's saying there. We got to see Giancarlo Esposito as his Moff Gideon character.
Yes.
Of course, he's a Moff, which means, again, he has some Imperial connects. So Tiki, apparently this character's deal is that he was a former Imperial officer, and the idea is, like, since the fall of the Empire, he's been given, like, a sector of the galaxy, almost like as a severance, or like kind of like they've kind of rewarded him, or maybe in anything clinging to kind of the system, he's kind of monitoring a section of galaxy. So again, it's kind of cool. If only we can open a fast food restaurant. Let's see how that goes. Okay. Let's see. So amazing action how he takes down a whole group of guys too. By the way, that was so cool. He kills a man with a door. How much cooler can you get? Kills a man with a space door. And Gina Carano's in it too. I just wanted to highlight that. I love that Gina Carano. I've seen her pop up in a few things. I love that she's getting work, man. She's she was a fighter, and it's kind of nice when you see someone kind of break out of what they used to do in kind of an athletic capacity and kind of see them do some other stuff. That's nice.
Remind me, she was in Deadpool, right?
Yeah, she was Angel Dust in Deadpool. Yeah.
Okay, Dragon. You know what? This is totally off topic. I'm sorry, but it just occurred to me. You know what I totally forgot to mention in our 13 Reasons Why spoiler cast last night?
The Deadpool 2 poster, right?
Yeah.
Me too. I meant to mention it too.
It's like looming over it's literally looming over the whole season.
Yep.
All right. Anyways.
All right. So okay, big news. Something that it's kind of like another She-Hulk level announcement for me. Something you and I want to see for a long time. Obi-Wan series. We're finally getting the Obi-Wan series.
I'm not surprised. I'm really not. So I'm not as like over the top excited as some people are, just because I thought it was an inevitability. But by all accounts, I am excited. Don't get me wrong. And I love the way they played it. I love how it's just like Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor comes on stage, and he's just like, if Kathleen Kennedy's just like, Kathleen, Catherine, ask me if I'm playing. Kathleen, ask me if I am playing Obi-Wan Kenobi again. Ewan, will you be playing Obi-Wan Kenobi again? Dramatic pause. Yes, I will.
Well, the thought occurred later. We had Ewan McGregor and Haley Atwell in the same panel. All we needed was Jim Cummings.
Right. All right, let's see. But yeah, of course, I'm the same cell I've always wanted to see. And my expectation for Obi-Wan, they could always subvert by all means. I'm saying what I kind of expect is okay. It's between episode 4 and between episode 3 and 4. And it's basically Obi-Wan is like, it's like the stranger in the Old West, being like he's kind of like the stranger to the town, making a name for himself, kind of the Shane of it all, if you will. He's looking over at that young Luke Skywalker kid from a distance, and he's maybe he's making that old Ben Kenobi. Everybody knows old Ben Kenobi, and perhaps we know this because he stands up to a mob boss in the form of Jabba the Hutt crime family. Perhaps that's what I want to see in an Obi-Wan series. Maybe the long form will benefit that sort of thing. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Who knows? All right, so what do we have on the Pixar side of things, Tiki?
Not sure if he's there, but
yeah, I have a feeling he's not there. Okay, so
we had Forky asks a question.
Yep, basically a few shorts that they've kind of announced here, like Forky asks a question and the Bo Peep, the lamp short, a Lamp's Light, Lamp's Life. Yeah, Lamp's Life.
I don't know. No, they didn't talk about the Bo Peep one.
Right.
Was it? They showed the first Forky one, so
cool.
It was okay. I thought it could have been a little funnier.
All right.
And was of course like Forky didn't want to come out on stage, so instead Tony Hale came on stage.
Yeah, I saw that part. Also, Yvette Nicole Brown, she was kind of a moderator of sorts.
Yeah, she was hosting it. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah.
Anyways,
wow,
let's
Helen from Drake and Josh, yes.
Yeah, and also Endgame.
Yeah. And Hotel for Dogs, briefly.
Yep. All right.
John Cheadle from Endgame.
Yep.
It's the Hotel for... Oh my god, if Hotel for Dogs is in the MCU, that would be delightful.
I doubt that. Anyway, so Monsters at Work. That's what I want to talk about. It's Monsters at Work. Essentially a Monsters Inc. follow-up that we're getting.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how I feel about this one.
I like the idea.
I like the idea. I don't necessarily like the designs of the main characters.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, just saying, with Star Wars, we skipped over the Cassian and K2 one.
All right.
Just saying.
Okay. Well,
I mean, if we can move on if we need to.
All right. Okay, let's see. Anyway, so with Monsters at Work, though, so Monsters at Work, we have, the idea that, we have like kind of a mechanic who wants to be a scarer along the ranks of Mike and Sully, and we have the cast returning. It's very much kind of a quasi sequel, if you will. It's not going to be a prequel like we kind of the last explored with Monsters with the Monsters universe. But we also have some really good casting here, man. Tiki, we have one of the greatest actors of our time in the form of Gene Cousineau himself. Henry Winkler is going to be in this show.
Hey!
I'm
just not a big Monsters Inc. guy, Dragon. I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong, Winkler. That's definitely cool. I'm just this isn't a show I'm very excited. It looks very, very, very. It kind of toes the line between kid friendly and childish for me. The way it looks.
I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I just want to highlight some of the we have Henry Winkler, we got Aisha Tyler, we got Alana Ayuba, of course, from Coco, my Mama Imelda. Solid cast, that's all. Oh, and Kelly Marie Tran from Last Jedi. She's going to be kind of our co-lead of the show too. Anyway, all right, so that's coming 2020. Let's see, Muppets Now.
Yeah, they showed a teaser for that. It was pretty funny.
Now, I thought this was going to be a full-on variety show. I'm a little bit disappointed that it's going to be short chunks. But, I mean, whatever. As long as they're doing something with the Muppets, I guess.
They said this was going to be... I'm sorry, go on.
But yeah, at least the teaser they showed was pretty funny. So it was like Kermit was trying to tell us about the series, but Joe from Legal wouldn't let him give any details.
So that's the thing. I didn't see the footage, but I saw the Twitter posting. The thing that stuck out to me most was Joe the Legal Weasel, which cracked me up, and I hope that is a character that's going to be in the show. So
I thought he was an otter, but I guess he's a weasel. But yeah, that tweet with like all the stuff being redacted, that was kind of like the spirit of the teaser.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm interested to see that. I wonder if it's still going to be in the variety show format, because it sounds like they said unscripted, which implies it's going to be kind of like a casual thing. So I'm not sure how that's going to go.
I don't know. I took it as more short form stuff, but I don't know.
Well, it is going to be short form. What I'm saying is it going to be short form variety show, or is it going to be short form just kind of like casual sort of thing? Because again, the unscripted implies casual. Like, just we'll see what they get into.
Right.
And see, so kind of some of the TV movies and kind of some of the other stuff we got going on Disney Plus. Lady and the Tramp. So we saw a trailer.
Kill it with fire.
I mean, the dogs are cute, and it's like, but yeah, it's like
give suddenly a chance, but it's just
like suddenly it's like you get these cute real dogs, and then suddenly creepy CGI face on the tramp.
Why? Yeah. Just why?
They kind of had my interest until the moment we saw the tramp. It's like, oh god.
yeah, same.
I mean, I think
a really solid casting choice for Tramp, but Jesus Christ, I am not going to get into it with that design.
Yeah, it's two things. So one, the one point I can give is I think the recreations on the whole, in terms of kind of like before they talk. Everything's looking pretty solid in terms of like the recreation, kind of the vibe of the original. I gotta give it points there. I wasn't crazy about the Bella Notte remix.
Oh, I really wasn't either.
Now we saw the chefs were we saw like not the chef, we saw the restaurateurs, the Italian restaurateurs were there. So hopefully they would still go on to sing the song. Otherwise, it's gonna be really off. We have just a trendy version of it playing now. Like, God,
my hope is that the trendy version is for the credits.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. It's gonna be sacrilege if they do that instead of they just have it playing in the background instead of them with the accordion and everything.
They didn't mean like what they did with fucking Baby Mine?
Well, I mean that was someone singing though. At least it was.
It was still like a trendy like Jason Mraz style cover.
All right, I think you're a little overly sensitive about Dumbo, but okay. Anyway. Point being, recreations are solid. It kind of makes you long for the days of 101 Dalmatians sort of in live action, where it's like, wouldn't it be at the very least if we're stuck with a dog movie? Can't we just have the dogs don't speak? Because we've already seen that movie where they speak and we have a whole thing going on. It was great. Let's not try to do that again because it's going to look inferior in live action. It's just okay. We're going to work with a handicap. Let's work with a handicap and let's do something with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, let's see. So, The World According to Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, that looked.
Oh wait, what about Noel?
Noel?
Yeah, Noel.
Yeah, that seemed nice. Apparently they filmed it a couple of years ago, and it was supposed to be in theaters.
Huh. Well, I just Dragon, you'll be interested in this for one name and one name only. It starts with a Bill and ends with a Hader.
Let me see. Is it Frank? No, it's Bill Hader.
It's funny.
So Bill Hader plays the new Santa Claus, like the next in line Santa Claus, and Anna Kendrick plays his sister, Noel Claus. Let
me be very clear about this. Okay, you tell me there's a Christmas movie in the works on Disney Plus that is that premise.
Yes.
I'm sold. Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like Billy Eichner plays their cousin.
What?
Looks like Billy Eichner is their cousin.
Okay, nice.
It was funny. So Anna Kendrick and Billy Eichner came on stage, and at one point Eichner said, "I'm sorry, I'm not Bill Hader." Yeah, and they showed a trailer for it, which looks nice. By which they didn't show, they revealed where Bill Hader's character actually was.
That's a shame.
Yeah, 'cause, the premise is he goes missing, and then we're gonna show where he is.
Why would they do that? Yeah, that's ridiculous.
I mean, it was kind of funny where he was, but you don't need to show it. Trailers. Why? This is why I didn't go to the studios panel. Because of you!
Right.
All right. So yeah, the role according to Jeff Goldblum, it has the potential. It definitely has a lot of potential.
Yeah, it seemed fun. That seemed like a good one.
Yeah, this is for me is how you spice up National Geographic. Just throw Goldblum in there. Just have him take you through things. That I would check this out based on that trailer, just because it's just Goldblum's going to be really just kind of going around, just kind of experiencing things for the first time. We're going to learn a little something along the way. I think it's an ingenious idea. I really do.
I remember Michael Palin did a similar thing where he went around the Himalayas and recorded himself. And Michael Palin is, of course, part of Monty Python, so it was much more like dry British humor and less like quirky Jeff Goldblum humor. But it was still enjoyable, Just throw a celebrity who's known for his humor into a travelogue, and it's just going to be an enjoyable time.
I mean, just have him go around with a bumper sticker. It's his life finds a way, as Donovan Martin puts it here. Right. Okay, I'm just going to roll these together here because I realized some of these I was just kind of going through, I think, over old news. So let's talk about kind of the documentaries they have in the works. Basically, we have one firm trailer for the documentaries, at least as far as I saw. The big one to talk about, I think, is One Day at Disney.
Propaganda.
So One Day at Disney, that's the cast member documentary.
Cast member propaganda.
Or cast member propaganda, just to kind of keep it going, sure.
It seriously looks like cast member propaganda. It really does.
I mean, all I'll say it does feel weird to have that coming out at this particular time.
Right.
This is coming out December 3rd. So here's the thing. So it seems that a lot of these documentaries, if not all of them, they're kind of borrowing from the thing with the Pixar story, as we have with the Imagineering documentaries, and they're all, even with ink and paint, we're all going we're adapting the books and the documentaries, it seems like. Just Disney loves to do that with their documentaries, apparently. Yet again, here's the thing that seemed the most gauche thing to do in the whole thing, where it's like, hey, read the book, as in buy the book and stream it. Well, you don't want to don't put that, you say based on it. Don't just literally throw the product in the face of the trailer, man. That's a little. But no, I gotta tell you that I thought I like the sell of it though. I like the idea. We're gonna see you're gonna see the work that goes into creating the magic. It's kind of nice.
Dragon, it's just Monkey and I are way more tuned into the pulse of what's actually going on behind the scenes of the quote unquote magic. And it's not pretty. I don't want to get into the gory details of it all, but
well, into the other stuff.
That's why the whole existence of the show has me a little bit unnerved.
Well, we have other things like the Imagineering story, which is the Leslie Iwerks documentary. Now, from what I understand, I believe I don't know because this is a trailer from a few years ago. Now, I don't know if this means that it was a project that's now they're revisiting and they're making it into a 6-part series or not. I'm not sure what the deal is there. I don't know if it was
it's going to be a documentary, like a full-fledged documentary, and then after the documentary, we're going to have short episodes, 8 to 10 minute episodes.
Oh, 8 to 10 minute episodes. I was thinking 6. Yeah. I was just thinking she was going to go back to the well and just make a 6-hour essentially 6-hour documentary over via 6 episodes. All right.
No, it's going to be a feature-length documentary followed by short-form episodes. Yeah.
All right.
I think this is where I had a moment in the basement because they showed a brief glance of the Beast animatronic for Tokyo. That was amazing. Anyway.
Okay, Ink and Paint's pretty much an unsung heroes documentary, and Marvel 616, that's kind of about Marvel's impact on the culture, and that one I'm excited for, so we'll see where that goes. All right, so let's get to award time here. So I believe on day 1, it could have been, Monkey, do you know if it was on day 1 or day 2, the Disney Legends Awards? Do you know?
Monkey?
That was day 1.
Okay, day 1, so we're on the right track. So the Disney Legends were awarded. There are a lot awarded, I'm sure, but let's just focus on kind of some of the big three.
I'm sorry, guys, I'm just going to hot take right here. Disney Legends is a joke nowadays.
Way to just undercut all the whimsy I was about to dole out there. So, yeah.
No, I'm sorry. It's just like Robert Downey Jr. to me is not a Disney legend just because he starred in a Paramount movie that happened to get owned by Disney.
You make a not a bad point.
Disney, not the Disney legend. Maynard should be a Disney legend. You know what I mean? Like people who actually contributed to Disney should be Disney legends, not. I just think there should be a rule that Disney legends shouldn't be. Like, maybe they should be with the company for, like, over 10 years, which I guess technically Robert Downey Jr. has, but...
Yeah, no disrespect to Robert Downey Jr., of course, but as you say, it's not directly Disney.
It bothers me. It dilutes the brand of a Disney legend to me.
I mean, like, Anika Noni Rose got hers in, like, after 2 years or something, but, you know, a direct tie to Disney princess.
Uh-huh.
All right, let me put it to you this way. I see your point, but I would argue that let me put it this way. I think he got the award, maybe not for the right reasons, but I see why he would instantly get the award. Because again, it's because you know, again, he's been of a great benefit to Disney in terms of since they've acquired Marvel. Basically, Favreau as well. I know Favreau obviously for the other thing too, as well as Jungle Book and Lion King and recent. I'm not saying he deserves it for Lion King. I'm just saying, of course, basically that. Yeah, I get why they're getting the awards, and it makes sense in terms of it's more like a financially motivated reason.
Favreau, I completely get. I understand Favreau. I think Favreau deserves it.
That's what I'm saying. In terms of Favreau and Downey Jr. in the Marvel sense of things, they did jettison the universe. They're going to put everything into play in a sense, along with Kevin Feige. That kind of that triangle is kind of what gives you the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and of course, a large amount of success for Disney in later years. Again, for at least 10 years. Again, that to me warrants them an award at the very least. I think, I mean, maybe Favreau a little bit more so. I mean, Downey Jr. again, they timed it well with the whole Endgame of it all. That's why they gave it to him now. Versus maybe down the line for other people more deserving. But I don't know. I thought it was nice. I'm not just going to dilute it with like, hey, Downey, does he deserve the award though? Can't we just give a man an award and just be happy? You know?
All right, fair enough.
But of course,
Patrick, really if you want an award, you have to earn it. You have to do something. Patrick Starr is a Disney legend.
Oh my god!
Of course, Downey Jr. is pretty funny though. He got kind of like just this guy guys looks at. Of course, he brings up the most inappropriate thing at the start. There, like you got busted, you got this you kind of thrown out of Disney because he was smoking pot when he was a kid. On there, it's quite funny. Only he would start off like that when he's getting the awards. Pretty funny. Of course, nice for Favreau to get, and of course, most appropriate of anyone getting the award, Ming-Na Wen. Voice of Mulan, as well as she's done.
This is definitely the most deserved. This is like a true Disney legend,
and well timed given the Mulan of it all. So this one I think is probably the most appropriate out of everybody. So good for her. So again, congratulations to these people. Never mind my friend over here just casting dispersions like take it back.
I'm not saying take it back. I'm just saying it's like are we gonna make the Star Wars people really bothered me? That was kind of a sticking point for me because like Mark Hamill, like Star Wars has been around long before Disney acquired it. You can't just make Mark Hamill a Disney legend in retrospect.
Anyway,
no offense, Mark. I love you, Mark.
Little Mermaid, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I guess moving on then. So of course, I believe Eric Goldberg, he got his like a year or so ago. It wasn't this year, right?
Right.
Anywho, so again, point blank, there's kind of the three ones to kind of focus on for the time being. But again, they're good. Again, the Disney Legends kind of a nice prestigious thing. Again, maybe it's kind of in terms of who we give it to is, and basically, I think the selection process there might be a little bit of contemplation.
Give it to Maynard.
Sure,
yeah, they should.
I honestly think it's kind of ridiculous that he hasn't gotten it yet.
All right. Anyway, let's move on to day 2. Let's talk Saturday, guys. Let's talk about basically Saturday is kind of very collectively kind of the movies, very much the movie day.
This is where Monkey might want to duck out, but yeah. I know that Monkey wants to talk about the parks. Dragon, do you mind if we? Is it possible to do the parks and then build to the films last?
Sure. Let's talk parks now. Yeah.
All right,
Okay, yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, maybe like end parks with Rise of the Resistance if there's anything on that, and that's when I can bow out.
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the reason I didn't go for the parks panel, was to avoid Rise of the Resistance spoilers. So let's
There it
see.
is.
So let's park into gear, or however it works.
All right, so Epcot, 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 Epcot.
What's an Epcot?
Can you guys tell I'm excited about Epcot?
No, I couldn't tell at all, really.
Epcot is already like one of my favorite theme parks on the planet, and this transformation just, oh my god. Oh, it's beautiful.
I haven't gotten a full grasp of everything that was announced in the parks panel, but yeah, we can still talk about whatever.
All right,
Like
fair
this
enough.
can be
Epcot, we're going to get a Moana pavilion, which is exciting. That's going to be replacing Innovations, or at least a section of Innovations. I kind of wish it was replacing the Sea with Nemo and Friends, but whatever.
It's going to be a companion to that or something?
I guess, yeah. I mean, that makes sense that it would be a companion. It is right next door.
Yeah. Is this Moana thing? It looks like it might be a walkthrough. Is that it?
Something like that, yeah.
I mean, maybe not the Moana attraction I was hoping for, but hey, cautiously optimistic.
So the Guardians of the Galaxy coaster is going to feature multiple backwards launches.
Ooh. So I love on the map they had in the Avengers section of the pavilion. So like okay, California campus, Paris campus, on Florida it had Xandarian Outpost. So what was it the poster they had for Guardians amongst all the Epcot posters? The train looked pretty cool.
I do like
I can
the
tell you the track itself is massive because I saw them working on the track through the show building when I was last there. And just the framework of the track is huge.
I do like the Nova core of it all. That's kind of an interesting sell, and just kind of like kind of going from Xandar and so on and so forth. It's kind of nice, and the whole rewind of it all, given that goes backwards, is kind of clever.
Monkey, what do you think of breaking it up into the different pavilions? Like,
you mean
Future World is no more. What?
Yeah, I like this approach.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I like it especially because I feel like it blends into the World Showcase a lot better.
Yeah, I'm really liking it. Like, okay, this is on that, this is on that.
One at a time, please.
Sorry.
We have World Celebration, which is basically going to be like Spaceship Earth and the entrance plaza. We're going to have a new pavilion for expos and stuff like that. That looks like a really neat building with like a 3-layer like glass building with a garden and forest on top of it on the roof. Which, by the way, they have one of those at Golden Gate Park in San Francisco, so I know what they're like.
Okay.
Let's see. And then we have like we said, we have
that's where Spaceship Earth is, right?
What?
Is that where Spaceship Earth is?
Yeah.
I mean, the land.
Yeah.
That's actually. I just hope Spaceship Earth is ready by 2022 or something. Since that's when I'm hoping to make it back to WDW.
I don't know about that. That sounds a little cautiously optimistic. We'll see.
Yeah.
Anyways, World Nature is going to feature, the Journey of Water inspired by Moana. And it will also feature the land's new film, Awesome Planet, which will replace the Circle of Life in Environmental Fable. And Awesome Planet will debut in January 2020. Awesome Planet. All right. Okay, let's see. We also have World Discovery. This is where we're going to get.
It's a movie.
Oh God. This is where we're going to get Guardians of the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is the name of the attraction. And of course, Cosmic Rewind because it's backwards launch. Yeah. We're also going to get a restaurant inspired by Mission Space. We already knew about that, but we got some new concept art for it. Let's see. There's going to be a play pavilion, which is going to feature a lot of interactive elements that are going to help you connect with your favorite Disney characters. I don't really know what that means, but we'll see.
I mean, it's nice to have something in the Wonders of Life building again, but what, it couldn't be rides?
Right. And then, of course, the thing that I am most stoked for is the new Mary Poppins attraction.
We got Mary Poppins, y'all.
Right. It's not confirmed to be a dark ride yet, but I'm all but assuming it's going to be a dark ride.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because it describes it where the queue takes place on Cherry Tree Lane and goes into the Banks house, and that's where your adventure begins. So that sounds like a setup to a dark ride to me.
It's going to have Dick Van Dyke, right?
I would hope so.
Yeah, I think I heard he's going to be in it, so... Yeah. Let's see, it sounded like there's
got someone off the street, like Lin-Manuel Miranda or someone in there.
Sounds like there's going to be...
Go ahead, sorry.
Sounded like there's a new Canada movie coming?
Yes, and I don't like this title, Canada Far and Wide. That's not as good of a title as Oh Canada, and I'm going to miss Martin Short.
Yeah, that sounds like an unfortunate title.
Yeah,
Yes, Canada.
Now, Wondrous China, I like that title.
Yeah, I think that is a nice one. Didn't they announce that one, like, last Expo?
I'm sure they did.
Yeah, okay, so finally doing the new China movie.
Right. And then, of course, we're getting the new fireworks spectacular after Epcot Forever, which is going to be a tribute to like the history of Epcot, which is honestly the one that I'm most excited for. Like, I'm excited for that more than I am the actual one. And the new fireworks we're going to be getting is called
Harmonious.
Yeah, thank you. Harmonious. Yes. And to me, it just sounds like another World of Color slash PhilharMagic / Mickey's Magical Lamp Best of Disney Clip Show type thing, and I don't like it. Like I said, Epcot Forever sounds more cool than this does. I could be wrong. They could blow me away with the technology, but we'll see. It's got really big shoes to fill with illuminations, that's for sure. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about with Epcot? I'm just stoked that it's just I really love the fact that these different pavilions in the former Future World are going to blend into the World Showcase a lot better than what's currently there. It's going to be such a better transition.
What about this Ratatouille attraction?
It's a trackless dark ride that mostly uses screens. There's already a version in Paris. I'm not.
Yeah, it sounds like it's just going to be the Paris one.
What?
Yeah, I've gotten the impression it's just the one in Paris.
I'm pretty sure it's just going to be a straight up Paris. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
then
but it is a trackless dark ride, so trackless dark rides are still fun in their own right. So
yeah, it's a trackless dark ride in the U.S. Cool.
So what specifically is happening with Coco?
Oh.
Nothing as of yet. The only thing we know is that the giant guitar on the Mexico pyramid. Nothing beyond that has been announced.
Okay.
Sounds like they're adding a Beauty and the Beast sing-along show thing as a companion.
Let's not talk about that. I want to pretend that doesn't exist.
Okay.
Because it might replace Impressions de France. As of now, it's sharing the building with Impressions de France, and that is
not
too
a good
much
sign.
for my comfort.
Yeah. Yeah. Couldn't we get the Beauty and the Beast ride that's coming to Tokyo instead?
I know, right? Now, if that replaced Impressions de France, don't get me wrong, I'd miss Impressions de France, but I'd be like, all right, you know what? It's a fair trade.
Yeah. Or as a West Coaster, I'd be happy just getting that in Disneyland. So,
Man, God damn, Impressions de France might be my single favorite thing in Epcot. So if that thing really does get replaced by a fucking Beauty and the Beast sing-along, I'm going to be devastated. Anyways.
I like the posters within the introduction of all these things in Epcot, though. Really well designed posters.
Of course, they evoke the old school Pavilion logos.
Yeah.
All right, and then I guess just on to general news. Monkey, what do you think of the Runaway Railway exterior? Because that was the other big thing on the parks day for me.
Looks nice. I mean, I can't say why just yet, but I am kind of miffed like that Garrett gave away. It's the El Capitan Theater.
I really appreciate that this attraction is going to basically cement Toontown as a fixture of the park.
Yeah,
and I'm hoping that Toontown is going to get some much needed TLC.
Yeah, I mean, I just wish that. Don't get me wrong; it's wonderful that we're getting Runaway Railway in over here. I'm just miffed about sharing another friggin' clone with Hollywood Studios because it makes Hollywood Studios feel more pointless. And
if it protects Toontown, though, it's a sacrifice I'm willing to work with.
Yeah, and especially since
Runaway Railway have the same attitude, but I feel like protecting Toontown and especially protecting Cartoon Spin is like it's a fair trade. I think.
I'm just hoping it'll be like with Forbidden Journey, where I get to do it in Florida, shortly before it comes to California, and I'm like, okay, now I'm excited it's coming our way.
Also, we don't know if it's going to be different queues or not. That's something that's still up in the air.
Yeah, but if the ride is the same, it's still the same.
Yeah, well, fair enough. I mean,
I know this has been a moment of
sadness. Like Forbidden Journey and have slight differences here and there between the two versions.
Okay, maybe. Like, say, I guess a better example of differences would be Midway Mania or something.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, don't get me wrong. I still have good hopes for Runaway Railway. It's funny, I've had the thought recently, I don't know if this would be possible, but wouldn't it be deliciously ironic if Toontown expanded and replaced Autopia?
I would actually kind of love that.
Yeah. I think, personally, I feel like maybe that's the old motorboat space in Autopia. Maybe those could become, the Beauty and the Beast ride from Tokyo.
Possibly.
Like that, maybe that could be an okay spot for
Monkey, you'd be replacing the little motorboats.
I know, no, not the boats, but it would be a nice trade-off. Or we could, or I don't know, that spot used to have a gummy. I mean, that spot used to have a Gummy Bears themed attraction, so we could make that space a Gummy Bears attraction. No joke. When I was watching that show, I was like, this would make a good ride.
Well, the motorboat cruise overlay with Gummy Bears wasn't that great, so.
Okay, an actual legit Gummy Bears ride. Moving on.
Anyways, we don't have much info, but apparently the Jungle Cruise and Big Thunder Mountain are going to be getting extensive refurbs at the Magic Kingdom over at Walt Disney World.
Sounds good.
And finally, we don't have much info on this either, but apparently New Tomorrowland at Disneyland will be ready by 2025.
Huh.
And that brings us to Avengers Campus. Dragon, what do you got on this?
Oh, I'm so blown away by it, how it looks and everything. Oh my goodness, it's it's just so. Basically, seeing it just kind of like the mock-ups and basically the art and basically what we're looking at now, kind of a few of the stills and kind of the concept art for it that's been worked up. I mean, especially after Endgame, just seeing kind of the Avengers Campus, like you could see like. Basically characters walking around, but more so you see like the Quinjet taken off from basically that iconic the wide shot of what the base looks like every time you go up to upstate New York in the movies. It looks really great, and then it gets even better when you look at the wide shot like this. Really, just beyond that, you have the collectors. You have you have the mission breakout on the horizon already. Even though that's already great as is. Okay, so we have that, and we have that behind it. And then you go down the block essentially, and you have the SpiderMan attraction. You have the PIM test kitchens. It all looks wonderful, simply wonderful. I mean, just to break it down a smidge here. So apparently there were. Long term, they're going to turn that kind of that wide shot into a ride with the Quinjet, where you go from point A to Wakanda to essentially an Infinity War-esque battle with these bug creatures. So the concept art looks really good on that. Spider-Man, I don't know how the heck they're going to work this, but it's basically kind of like a new Spider-Man ride where you catch you're basically catching spider bots and you're able to web sling. I don't know how you're going to be able to web sling. I don't know if that's them just being really creative and like taking artistic liberty with the concept art, but if that's the case, if you can actually web sling within that ride, it's like, oh my goodness, that's beyond cool, right?
Yeah. And Spider-Man, importantly, is going to be phase 1, and then the Avengers is going to be phase 2. That's an important distinction.
Well, yeah.
How long do you think that gap will be between phases?
I imagine like at least a year, I guess.
At least, yeah, if not a few years. I imagine it'd be kind of like how they phased out the DCA expansion. So that was like what, like 2009 to 2012?
Like 08 to 12.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay,
was
it Spider-Man is supposed to open next year, right?
Is it next year?
I don't know. I could be wrong.
I think he might be right. I know it's either 2020 or 21. I think it's I think it might be 20. I'm not sure.
I mean, they've been working on it for a while, so
it's probably gonna be 21 if I'm betting smart money on it. But again, I don't know. But yeah, it's let's see. Of course, again, like I mentioned the PIM test kitchens. I love the idea. I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off or not. The way they're kind of hyping up, like you're going to be able to have shrunken foods and everything like that. Just, oh god, it's the idea of like just shrunken food.
Yeah, what was it? The Pavilion had a giant pretzel and a giant soda can.
That's amazing. That's what I'm talking about. Like they're really going for it. It's oh god, it's just so. I believe this is part of the grander design where the ideas of the Disney parks all throughout the globe. You'll have like a different section of Avengers stuff.
Yeah, yes. I love that idea. I fucking love that idea. That's what I wish more parks would do. That's what Galaxy's Edge should have been. Galaxy's Edge should have been different planets intertwined with the same storyline running throughout all the different planets.
It's all really cool. Okay, it's an age of wonders. The idea we're gonna have like MCU stuff within the Disney parks. It's so cool. I know we kind of started this with Mission Breakout, but we're gonna do it on such a grand scale, and it's gonna look so good. Oh boy, it's all so whimsical. Right. I love it.
And I think that's where Monkey should probably bow out. Dragon, can you think of anything else besides Rise of the Resistance?
No, that's all I got.
The hotels, the space hotel thing.
Got anything on that, Monkey? Because I haven't really been following it.
Apparently, it's like a 2-night experience.
So
I heard, like for Star Wars alone, it's like an armament of the cost of an Oldsmobile to stay for just like a night.
Yeah, it's like what, like 2,000 a night or something.
I don't know, but yeah. So it sounds like it's not like my perception. Like I had assumed before, it was just some hotel. It was just another hotel, but with an elaborate Star Wars, like a super elaborate Star Wars theme. But no, it sounds like it's maybe not quite a cruise, but a 2-night experience that connects to Batuu. But yeah, so yeah, it'll be interesting to hear how that goes, I guess.
Donovan has said something really funny here about 3000. Get it? I love you 3000. Get it? So, anyway.
Okay, so is this where I sign off?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Good night.
Goodbye.
All right. Okay, Dragon. So did you see the Star Wars Land Sizzle reel?
Yes, I did. I mean, I saw the here. I need you to clarify something for me. So I saw the footage for basically the promotional thing they put up for Rise of the Resistance. Now the footage I saw looked really great. It really did. Basically have this kid with a droid in her backpack from presumably from the Build a Droid section of Galaxy's Edge. you have basically it's kind of like an epic showcase of like I've waited my whole life for this. And it's like yes, oh my god, they're selling the heck out of this ride. It's like please just make this footage available. I mean, this would sell every kid in their wide imagination. If I were a kid watching and say I have to go tomorrow, I wouldn't be able to go tomorrow, but I'd love to do it. Because you're taking on it.
I wish it was going to be open in roughly 3 weeks, but alas.
Basically, the way they're selling it here, like basically you're taking on. Here's the thing that really sold me. Assuming this is the case, and things get a little messy towards the latter half of this, I need you to clarify. But it seems like you're taking on the adventure, kind of Star Tours style, presumably like a droid who's like kind of navigating you through things.
Yes. Correct.
I love that. And now, of course, it seems like I think they're also advertising the smuggler's run of it all. If I'm taking that correctly, it's not a problem. But if you're telling me there's another very Millennium Falcon-esque ride, you're going to be assigned roles to drive the ship and everything at the end of that thing within Rise of the Resistance. I don't know.
No, they're just advertising Smuggler's Run.
Okay, no problems. It's all great. It's all wonderful, honestly. Just it's a wonderful promotional reel, and it's a little promotional advertisement for both rides. And
Dragon those AT-ATs.
I know, AT-ATs.
AT-ATs. Dragon, we saw those things being constructed. I vividly remember the legs of those things being visible from the parking lot.
Did you clap?
Full scale. I cannot fucking wait for that scene.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
I'm hoping to get to Florida to ride this as part of the Hollywood Studios Galaxy's Edge, so I can compare and contrast the two Galaxy's Edge. Yeah, and like I said, just the scale of Rise of the Resistance, the AT-ATs, like you said, the droid on the ride vehicle, the fact that it's a trackless dark ride, which means our vehicle's just going to be able to cover all this space and we have no idea where we're going to be able to go next. It's really cool, really exciting.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, so that leads us into the films, Dragon.
Yes. So let's see. Let's backtrack back to those moving pictures things that are just catching on. Let's go back to that. Let's talk about what Disney's got cooking in the old film canisters. So speaking of Star Wars, before we really fully go into kind of a lineup or anything, let's talk about everything everybody wants to talk about: Rise of Skywalker.
I think this teaser trailer is honestly just okay. I echo the sentiments of Jeremy Johns, where it's like if Rey was really going to turn evil, they aren't going to show it in the teaser trailer. So I think this whole Rey turning evil thing is just a big fat misdirection. My prediction is it might be mirroring the opening of Return of the Jedi, where Luke is wearing the dark cloak and everything.
Yeah, someone had a theory that, again, I'm not sure it makes 100% sense, but it is interesting nonetheless. The idea that, of course, assuming that Palpatine is Plagueis, perhaps Rey, the answer to Rey's parentage and all that sort of stuff is that Rey was created by Palpatine.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah.
For sure.
And of course, basically, he'd be kind of playing the long game with Rey kind of turns to the dark side and everything. Things like, hey, she's the hero of these movies. It would be a bold choice if they went evil with her on the last one. But regardless, even if she does,
I would respect them for it. Don't get me wrong, I totally would.
I'm going to throw this at you here. And again, whether it's going to happen or not, well, it's anyone's guess. But I would throw this at you. What if Rey legitimately turned to the dark side, and then basically through the course of the movie, at the very last minute, she had a redemption. Basically, Kylo Ren, perhaps, again, him coming more to the light side by the end of things, her towards the dark side, and they meet in the middle, and they kind of find, again, kind of thing the series, I would argue, with Last Jedi, especially, has been building towards, where we kind of cast off the roles of light side, dark side. We just are what we are, and we're just kind of basically going with again, like they kind of like Kylo Ren said, screw the rules.
I just don't think that we've had Rey set up as a villain at all. And Jeremy Johns made that point in his video. It's like if we start the film where Rey is a Sith now, it's gonna come out of fucking nowhere. Not to mention, the thing that really bothers me about this is that Rey is actually a super positive role model for young girls. So I don't mind if she goes down a dark path, but I do mind if she's stuck there the whole movie.
It's a fair point. Well, regardless, I still like the idea that I really still like the idea that we're going to cast off the rules of what we've been familiar with for at least 2 trilogies at this point. Now going on 3, that we kind of cast away like what exactly it means to be a Jedi or a Sith, and they're kind of their own thing. And perhaps maybe not the dark. Maybe it's like she's kind of donning the symbols of the dark side, but she's not fully all the way there. You know what I mean? Like she's in a complicated space like Kylo Ren was. Am I making any sense there?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Regardless of what we can say, just visually, one little fun fact here. I think we've talked about this way back when they struck the deal in the first place. But one of the underlying reasons they went for the procuring Fox, from what I heard, and assuming it's true, and this trailer kind of makes me think it was true, getting the rights to the old movies. That's why we have the old footage. We finally kind of got to see the old footage. I mean, my God, that footage looked great too. By the way, just kind of the rendering of it in kind of HD, I guess. I don't know why. It looked.
Also, realized now that Disney owns Fox, like I don't think this is going to happen. But how cool would it be if we got the return of the 20th Century Fox fanfare?
That would be amazing. Oh my God.
I don't think it will happen, but
yeah.
Seriously,
I mean, again, I'm pretty sure that this kind of confirms, like, yeah, no, we're kind of the payoff to the Fox arrangements. Like now, for this last movie, the big kind of ending to a big legacy, we can actually use the clips in the trailer to kind of work it in there. So I thought it was a nice little call. So, of course, we see like some really great images, like the fleet of starships, of Star Destroyers, more accurately, fleet of Star Destroyers. Red, what do you make of red-eyed C-3PO?
You know what I make of it? At this point, I make of it that they wanted to sell another fucking action figure dragon. That's
you're just you can't take everything from Jimmy.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If somehow C-3PO turns evil, Dragon, that's automatically going to make this my favorite Star Wars movie. Not the best Star Wars movie, but my favorite one.
I think, honestly, here's the thing. The toy thought did cross my mind. However, the way that shot comes up there, the way he's like kind of, I think someone's going to get the C-3PO and they're going to mess with him and that's going to turn him evil or something. I don't know. I think.
Oh my God, Dragon, believe me. If we get evil C-3PO in this movie, I will love it. I will just love it. I mean, that just sounds so amazing.
Now, again, I've told you, like, again, if you ever want to see what legit evil C-3PO looks like. Now, of course, I know it's a very different thing because this is like the beloved C-3PO that we've grown to know over the course of movies. And, it's the Anthony Daniels C-3PO and all that sort of, like, C-3PO, not just the protocol.
Anthony Daniels himself is the real-life villain in the C-3PO situation.
Okay, let's not dwell on that. But no, in all seriousness, though, I mean, again, I've told you about that Darth Vader series where, again, like, you have, like, literally evil C-3PO who's, like, he murders a whole bunch of people with, like, an R2-D2 who's, like, armed to the teeth. It's, oh, God, it's great. Again, seriously, like, that first, like, way, if you ever just go way back to the Vader book, and you'll see that play out, it's really great. So if you ever want to legit see evil C-3PO, look at that, or an evil protocol droid when you're used to seeing C-3PO. But seriously, again, the way that it's a scene that's very similar to Han Solo being tortured. And basically, like, the way he's raised up from, like, Han Solo, he's, like, strapped to that machine, he's, like, lowered on top of, like, that hissing, thing where he's being tortured off screen, that whole thing.
Right.
I'm saying that setup was very similar. Now, of course, it could just mean C-3PO is being tortured, which, again, my point is it's a very ominous-looking reveal of C-3PO with the red eyes, which makes me think he's going to turn evil. If not for a segment of the movie, then, I don't know, something's going to happen there. I think he's, like, someone's going wacky in his programming there. That's what I think is going to happen.
We'll see.
Let's see. But in regards with the red eyes of it all, I love the blues and the reds, how we continue kind of doing that within the new trilogy, really playing with the blues and the reds. And again, it suggests that when we have like Rey with a red lightsaber, it's going to mean something. It suggests that, again, I think we're really going to play with the labels of, like, again, maybe it's a good person with kind of the symbol of evil in Star Wars who might, again, maybe she's not bad, but again, she's blurring the lines, stuff like that. So, of course, she's it's a really great battle she has with Kylo Ren on kind of on the waterfront, as it were, on kind of like in an ocean somewhere. It looks really, I believe we're the same place where the Death Star remnants are. It looks really good. And of course, you have Palpatine saying Palpatine's line, something along the lines of "Your journey nears its end." That's really epic. It's really cool.
Oh yeah.
All right, so yeah, it's really cool looking.
I think that this is going to be the last of the Skywalker saga, Dragon. I mean, and it's even more surreal that not many people are actually talking about it.
Yeah, you know why? Because I think people are just desensitized knowing that there's going to be more Star Wars movies without realizing, well, yeah, but still, ideally, this is going to be the end of the Star Wars that you're familiar with, the Star Wars that we have like kind of stable. Going forward, it's gonna be like all of our old favorites. Like this is it, guys. Versus like when we're gonna be just basically okay, we're in the Star Wars. Going forward, it's gonna be the Star Wars property. Now this is like the Star Wars, like the old blood versus the young blood of it all. It's like next franchise we're probably gonna go 30 years in the future. It's gonna be Old Bray. I don't know. Never know. All right, so let's see. Moving on, the rest of these are gonna go by relatively quick. So let's see. Going down those now, we can probably go to the kind of the general. It's kind of like what's on the slot, what's on the docket, as it were. All right, so let's start with Black Widow. So Black Widow, we confirmed that it is definitely in the past. It's we had a poster reveal, which is really neat looking. They also showed a few things. They showed a little bit of footage where she's like in a kitchen fight with her basically her really kind of her Loki of the film, if you will. Her, as I mentioned before to you, there are two Black Widows, famously. There's the blonde-haired Black Widow, and then there's the Black Widow that, kind of the Natasha Romanoff Black Widow. So Elena is the other Black Widow, and the idea is they have kind of like their sisters in the Red Room Project. Like they're two rival Black Widows within the same program. So we saw her get into a fight with kind of her sister figure.
And, I got to admit, Dragon, this is one of the MCU projects that's really not I'm sure it'll be entertaining enough. David Harbour is probably the thing I'm most looking forward to with this, but it's not selling me as much as I want it to be.
Well, I know one thing. It has me like in 2020 it has me in the bag so much for like, and we have the Black Widow movie and we have the Falcon Winter Soldier, show. Because again, those two I think are going to are going to kind of meld into each other very well.
Because you're a massive Cat fan, all right?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that's what I'm going to really get a kick out of those. And of course, with the David Harbour role, essentially, remember he's playing Red Guardian, and we got to see him in the poster here. In the poster, he's it's basically a takeoff of the costume from the comics. What they did so cleverly is that, again, his whole character is a Russian Captain America. So they put him in kind of a Russian-y red version of the Captain America suit with a beard. It looks pretty neat. I don't know. I'm so in the bag for this Black Widow movie. I'm hoping it's gonna. Again, given the fact that I'm pretty sure they confirmed that, okay, it's in the past, therefore it's going to be, therefore I think, basically I was worried they're going to complicate, like we're setting it during Civil War, which I heard they might be doing that. If they do that, I'm going to be a little worried about it. I'm not going to say it can never work, but I'm going to be a little worried about it because they keep saying she's fully formed, and I'm saying, how can she be fully formed if it's in the past? So I'm hoping this past kind of confirmation legitimately stands as a past confirmation. But her in the white outfit, though, I do want to speculate. I think that's like an initiation. Like before you earn like the Black Widow suit, you have to she has to do something really horrible. Like, this is where she's going to get the red in her ledger, so to speak. I think that's what that's going to be all about. It's my 2 cents. It doesn't matter. All right. So let's see. Black Panther 2. Really not a lot here. Just they confirmed. Okay, we knew Black Panther 2 was coming. We just didn't know what year, if it was going to make it.
Literally, all they did was confirm the release date. This was genuinely a troll on Ryan Coogler and Kevin Feige's part, Dragon. It really was.
Well, pretty much, but look at the bigger implications. The bigger implication is that, okay, so the movies that are floating around, again, they're being inserted into the lineup. Which again, if it was FF, then I would have been bouncing off the ceiling. That's the thing. If it's it gives me hope for Fantastic Four being kind of announced and slated in there somewhere. So fingers crossed.
Right.
I know one thing. I'm still holding out hopes that Phase 4 will extend beyond what we've seen kind of put on the screen so far. I'm hoping it's still going to be within Phase 4 because I want Fantastic Four in Phase 4 so badly.
I know you do.
Simple things. Such a simple request, of all the movies.
I don't think it matters that much. I think it's just a silly number, but
it is. But I mean, if you spend all this time like Phase 2, Phase 3, if all these phases are like big monolithic numbers within the tones of a greater universe, we can't give Fantastic Four the number 4. It's going to be so strange if it's 5 and 4. It's going to be weird. Anyway. Yeah. Again, not a deal breaker. We're just going to be weird. It's always going to stare you in the face, that sort of thing. The Eternals took the stage. We had a first look at them and a really nice little setup. They're all standing in front of their images on the screen and back. They all had marks. It was really nice. And Angelina Jolie's son is going to be in the movie. So
random, but okay, why not?
Oh yeah, it's kind of, it's like she's, one could say that she's
Proud of her boy.
yes.
Oh my God.
All right, let's talk about
Adopted kids?
what?
Is it? I'm sorry, this is gonna sound kind of mean, but is it one of the adopted kids?
Well, we got Murty. I think they're all adopted kids, but
Like, I'm sorry. Now I'm actually slightly interested in this. Now, like, is it? Oh God. Anyways,
it's probably I think it's probably one of her adopted children, but I don't know. Again, I assume they were all adopted. I don't know. Anywho, like the 4 billion of them that she's adopted. I don't know. Okay. Okay. All right, so let's talk about the ongoings at Pixar here. Let's start with Onward. So Onward, so here's you have to fill me in here because I was kind of lost in what you told me about Onward earlier. So here's what I know. I know we had 8 minutes of footage shown. I know we have a new cool looking poster. It kind of has like on the Chris Pratt character's vest. We have all these pins and everything, which includes some really nice kind of thematic stuff like little tape. Again, maybe a little nod to Guardians of the Galaxy too, by the way. Little cassette tape, a little pin that says "Dad," a little guitar and everything, and basically reaffirm, okay, that's about a journey to get to know your fathers. That's pretty much all I really got from on. Nothing we didn't really know beforehand, but apparently you might know something I don't. What's going on here?
yeah. So the story of this film is that they have a spell that can bring their father back from the dead for one day.
Yeah.
Kind of some AI shit. You
That
know what
much
I
I
mean?
know, yeah.
Okay, so Dragon, apparently the spell goes haywire and the dad only comes back from the waist down.
Are you sure about this? Because Tika, you got to admit, if you just told somebody this, you can understand why I'd be raising an eyebrow. And
I raised an eyebrow myself. I've only heard it from one podcast from some guy who was there. He might have been misunderstanding it, but I did hear this premise laid out.
here's why I have trouble believing it, Tiki. I'm not saying you're lying here. I'm just saying, again, you heard it from one. What I'm saying is, this sounds like if they were doing this sort of thing, that sounds like why would they announce that during a panel? Where it sounds like a huge spoiler for the movie. That's why I have trouble believing it.
No, you're right. It does. It does.
And look, if they're
I
gonna
hope
do
it's
that,
not true. I genuinely hope it's not true.
I don't know if it was like a joke that was just kind of like heard by a guy, and he said, "Oh no, they're actually doing this." I don't know.
That could be, Dragon. You're not wrong. That could genuinely. That's a definite possibility.
I hope it's not the case because one, I mean, they may have been, for all I know, they may have been able to sold me if they could do that within the movie. If anything, Tiki, I'm going to say maybe that's like a brief gag before like they fully get them there. I don't know. Maybe it's like a brief gag. I don't know. The point being, it just sounds really off the wall that they would just announce like that huge again, like a brave like twist in that moment.
Yeah,
Like right.
that's what it is to me. It is, if they do go through with it, then it is Brave. It's just Brave 2.0.
That's the problem if you announce that big a plot point at D23 when you just show the first 8 minutes of footage. I get the first 8 minutes of footage where, okay, you kind of give people a flair for the movie and the world building of it all, maybe a little bit of the heart. Sure, but again, like that's a huge, substantial thing.
Mm.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, the only thing I can imagine wording is, nah, never mind. Just doesn't matter. Okay. So, point being, Onward. I'm still looking forward to Onward. We'll see what happens. I'm just hoping this whole legs down thing maybe is not true, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, let's talk about the more exciting thing.
But if that is true, it sounds ridiculous, right?
I'm not saying it can't work. I'm just saying like it bothers me if I know that going into the movie. That's the thing. I really hope it's not true.
All right.
Where else? So that's the thing is, I think so. Onward already. Look, I'm interested in Onward, but the thing has me more. I think the thing that has us, all of us collectively, more captivated. The gutsier movie, the original movies in the lineup here. Soul.
Yeah, my number one most anticipated movie of 2020 with a bullet.
We got a lot of great details on Soul here. Soul already
amazing. Oh wait. Let me check the books, Dragon. Let me check the books. Oh, Dragon, I just got word. This is rather unfortunate. Apparently Pete Docter is white, which means he's not allowed to make a movie about an African American character. Dragon, cancel that. We have to be mad at Pete Docter now.
Why would you bring that? Why?
I'm bringing it up to raise attention to this mindset and the fact that it does exist out there, and fuck anyone who thinks that way. You might not think there's people out there who think this way, but there are, and they're fucking toxic.
Well, it's the fact that I still can't substantiate any of that. I still can't find anything on that.
Grace from Beyond the Trailers. One of the most toxic YouTubers on the entire platform. She's trying to spread that shit around.
I'm sorry, I'm so lost words. Again, you're going out of your way just to rant about something here, and I think it's kind of silly.
I am stoked for Soul, and I just think that the idea of Pete Docter like being checked for his privilege or what the fuck ever is just fucking ridiculous. I mean, the man has like proven to us that he can tell a damn good story. It shouldn't matter what the race of his main characters are.
One person.
All right. I'm sorry, Dragon. Something I'm very passionate about with Pete Docter. He is my favorite Pixar director. I have all the faith in the world in him.
I get it, but still passion, but one naysayer so far. That's what I'm saying.
It's a very big naysayer, though.
It's a very big naysayer, but again, it's not really catching on like wildfire yet.
All right. Anyways.
Anyway, okay, the point being, focusing on the positive that I think we all can dance to right now. So we do have information. The point is, Soul and premise already sells you. Like, one, it's Pete Docter, of course. Again, remember what Pete Docter's last out there titles were. Okay, Inside Out and Up, and of course, like the most like what? Soul? What the? Where is he going with this?
Right,
it's like, well, look at the other two, Inside Out and Up. Again, the most out there ridiculous titles tend to be the most emotional, impressive movies in Pixar's catalog. And this one, again, I already sold in premise, and the fact it's going to be like a cosmic journey from New York to essentially the great beyond, practically. It's just, we have that going on in terms of premise. Already, the fact that we're tackling Soul, and of course, Pete Docter, he's also a bit of a spiritual guy. He doesn't get preachy about it, but he's a bit of a spiritual guy. So we're diving into some big themes. It feels like it's going to be a personal movie the same way Onward's going to be a personal movie for Dan Scanlon. It's very much kind of a personal conflict, again, implied in regards to Soul. So we know that Jamie Foxx and Tina Fey are going to be kind of our leads in the movie. We have Jamie Foxx as Joe Garner, I believe. Joe Garner, our main character, and 22, Tina Fey. And of course, Tina Fey's wonderful when she does voice work too, by the way. I mean, she's great in general. I mean, I love her. And
I love the idea of her character, this old school jazz singer who's been around as a soul since the 20s, kind of like lost in time.
We know it's the 20s. Did you hear that somewhere?
I don't know, man. I'm just associating the 20s with the roaring 20s and the jazz times and everything. So I don't know for a fact.
I mean, we know jazz is still around. So,
all right. Well, look, she's been dead for yeah, Dragon. I'm pretty sure I saw the 20s. All right. I'm sorry.
All right. I'm just asking. Okay. The point being, yeah, it does. The jazz idea is really cool. The idea is like a middle school jazz teacher who gets in an accident, and basically there's really cool. There's a real club in New York called the Half Note Club. I think I heard about this once. It was kind of familiar when I saw this in like in a summary somewhere. Where so the Half Note Club, it's this it's I forget where in New York, but it's this little club in New York. It's really, it's kind of a neat. It gives me the confidence that this movie's going to be really. We're going to explore New York in a really cool way. It gives me it gets me excited about that already. And the idea is he gets into an accident.
I'm picturing like a metaphysical version of New York where it's kind of like half real world and then half like seen through the perspective of a soul. So I don't know. I can't even imagine what that's visually going to look like.
Yeah, it's very exciting. So he's after a big, basically I forget if he's a musician or a singer. I don't know which one he's going to be. I mean, you said singer. I'll take that to be true.
Tina Fey is the singer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Tina Fey is the singer.
Tina Fey's okay. This I didn't know because Tina Fey's the singer. Okay, that makes.
This clarifies my 1920s thing. I wasn't talking about Joe being from the 1920s, Dragon.
Oh, that's okay. Now that's what I'm asking. Okay, there we go. Now we're on the same page.
Yeah, Tina Fey she's playing a lost soul who was from the Roaring 20s, man.
Gotcha. That's where her name's 22. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
There we. Okay.
And you acted like I was a fucking crazy person, even though I was saying the right information. All right, anyways.
All right, anyway, okay, fine. Just
Communication breakdown! So it's the same!
all right.
This is where my mind goes to after 2 hours on air, folks. I'm sorry.
Okay, the point is now we're on the same page, regardless. The fact of the matter is, so the idea is, this guy, he's either in a life or death situation. For all we know, they could have killed him off. It sounds to me like we kill him off, but he could be in a coma or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah, honestly, Dragon, the end of the movie could be him accepting his death.
Look, my instinct is that he's dead, but I heard coma. I don't know which characters. The idea is either I want to say 22 or Joe was in a coma. Given the fact that 22 is from the 20s, I would imply that she
is in a coma.
Sorry?
I said I don't think 22 is in a coma.
Yeah, given now that I put together that 22 means that she's from the 20s, I would doubt the coma angle, yes. But that's the thing, Joe may or may not be in a coma. That might be his get out of jail free card. Like, we put him in a coma, we bring him out of it. So we'll see. But again, he could just, I think he's going to go for it personally. I think that my instinct is that, well, we kill him. That's Pete Doctor for it.
How emotional would that be to have a character look death in the face and say, I'm ready for it?
Because remember, a big part of the movie from the premise is that there's a reincarnation angle. The idea that spirits, that souls, I guess, they go into newborn children. And Tiki, what's so great, and this is another movie you really got to check out, especially given what we know about Soul, Defending Your Life. I mentioned this. I know I mention this movie constantly when we do memoirs. Defending Your Life is a movie with Albert Brooks, and the idea is he dies at the start of the movie, and basically, and I would imagine, I know, knowing Pete Docter, and of course Albert Brooks, who we know has been in Pixar movies, a few. Albert Brooks, of course, I'd imagine there's some Albert Brooks fans amongst the Pixar brain trust, and I would imagine that he has seen that movie. Maybe he's basing that idea a little bit on that. And the idea of defending your life is that when you die, you have two options. It's like there's no heaven or hell necessarily. The idea is that when you die, you either get to go to heaven or you get reincarnated. Basically, you get another go at it, and they basically decide that process. That's the movie. So I wonder if maybe he got the idea from that. Sounds a little similar.
Could be.
Really good movie too, seriously.
I mean, in a way, it's kind of like how we got the idea for Inside Out from Cranium Command.
Well, yeah. But you know what I mean. So the point is, it's out there. It's very interesting. The one thing I'm not sold on 100% quite yet. Let me get your view on this. What do you feel about the design? I saw like the design of the souls of the spirits, I guess, kind of the soul-y. They look. I'm not 100% sold on it.
Like the Inside Out emotions, where they're going to look a lot better when they're in motion.
Maybe I'm gonna. You think you're right? Yeah, it's probably it.
Because I remember when I first saw the designs of the Inside Out emotions, I didn't really like them at all. But then when I saw how they functioned in the actual animation, where you have the, like the little balls of the literal balls of emotion for their hair and everything, that really worked. It really made those designs pop a lot more than they did just on as a piece of art.
Fair point. The one perplexing thing to me, and again, we'll see how it turns out in the end of the movie, is that for the first movie, not counting Monsters, Inc., of course, but the first original movie that Pete Docter's done without Giacchino attached.
Huh?
And
perhaps the reason why Giacchino's not attached is they want to incorporate a lot of classical jazz music.
But that's the thing. Giacchino loves jazz. I mean, look at The Incredibles.
Yeah, but I'm saying maybe they want to have the soundtrack be filled with actual classic jazz arrangements, though. That's what I'm saying.
I know that's the thing. So, I mean, I'm sure they have a reason for it. It's just initially I'm thinking why no Giacchino of all the movies that they have Giacchino on? But yeah, I think you're right.
Jazzy Johnny Williams.
Yeah. All right, so let's see. Moving on, Frozen 2. Mainly got some casting developments on Frozen 2. Frozen 2, we learn what Evan Rachel Wood's character is, along with Sterling K. Brown's character, and they sound pretty on the money. Evan Rachel Wood's character is the Queen. She's playing the mother to Elsa and Anna. It's not bad.
Wait, really?
Yeah, you didn't hear this? Yeah.
No, I didn't hear anything about that.
Everyone was speculating as to who Evan Rachel Wood's character is going to be, and they confirmed it here. That okay, so she's playing their mother, basically kind of qualm like that. Everyone's guessing, and many people, of course, been Yeah, many people have been guessing that if we're going to explore Elsa's love life on this, perhaps we're going to make Evan Rachel Wood that love interest. So of course they kind of put that to bed a little bit here with that.
Well, yeah, I would think so.
And then we have Sterling K. Brown, who is Lieutenant Matthias. Now, Lieutenant Matthias, the ID, I believe, if I read it correctly, is that he's kind of the basically, when we go back in it sounds like we're gonna, again, the fact that we're gonna see a scene with the mother implies that we're gonna go back in time. Or I think we're gonna see a Lieutenant Matthias as like a friend of kind of basically he's the military of I guess like the Royal Guard of Arendelle, or at least kind of like an ally to Arendelle in a military capacity. And the idea, I believe, he tied into that flashback, and perhaps he's gonna be kind of a trusted ally going forward, and then what they're going to go up against. And we know what they're going up against. They're going to go up against elementals. Going up against fire, water, earth, and wind.
Uh-huh.
We're going to learn the origin of Elsa's powers. It's pretty much all we know coming out of Frozen 2.
Yeah, I'm very excited about Frozen 2. I like that we still don't know that much about it. Of course, the trailers, I think, have been rather epic.
That they have. All right. That brings us to Raya, the last dragon. Raya and the last dragon.
Are you sure you don't want to save this one for last?
Well, maybe we should. Let's talk about Jungle Cruise.
There we go. That's more our speed. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited. I think I'm more excited about Jungle Cruise than most people are. Mostly because The African Queen is one of my all-time favorite movies, and it seems they're kind of hearkening back to that a little bit.
I believe the cell line,
which is also a very good movie.
I forget if it was from The Rock himself or what, but I believe someone confirmed it was going to be like Indiana Jones meets African Queen.
Uh-huh. With a little bit of Romancing the Stone thrown in as well.
I love all those comparisons. That makes me excited for this movie when I originally wasn't. I mean, not saying I was dreading. I was like, I didn't really kind of feel
I think this movie's going to be stupid, but it's the Jungle Cruise. The Jungle Cruise is like built on dumb humor. Dragon, I think the best barometer for this is the new Dora movie. If they can have it be a tone that like completely is self-aware of how goofy it is, like that new Dora movie does, then I think that we're in for a really good time. If we have something where it's got like a weird mixed tone where some of the scenes are really dark, but then suddenly we have like, like Dwayne Johnson poop jokes and stuff like that, then then it might be a tonal mess. I don't know. It all depends on if they're really tongue-in-cheek with. I think they need to go as tongue-in-cheek with the humor as they can, because it is the Jungle Cruise after all.
Dwayne Johnson poop jokes.
I don't know where that came from, Dragon.
Well, I have an idea where it came from when you phrase it like that. God, all right. Let's see. Okay, real quick before we get to the big last one we got here. The last being the operative word. Cruella. We got a first look at Cruella.
Well, and Mulan.
All right, that too. Yes, we saw. So what was the Mulan first look like?
I shouldn't have even brought it up. I'm just bringing it up because it's on this poster thing. I honestly, I don't know anything about the. I'm sorry, Dragon. I'm eating crow on this.
This is why we don't deviate from the plan, my friend. This is why we stick to the plan. Well, right. I mean, in general with Mulan, I mean, the last thing I heard about is I heard we're neglecting the songs entirely, and I know that basically I've heard the start of Mulan.
Instrumentals, last I heard.
Okay, at least there's that. It's not great, but at least there's that.
I still want it. I still want. I'll make a man out of you, Dragon.
We'll see. I don't think it's in the cards, but we'll see. Of course, the other thing, basically Milan, without getting into the nitty gritty, Milan's kind of catching some fire these days from, for some silly reasons, from what I understand. Basically, the star is kind of catching some fire, which is why the star neglected to show up for Mulan.
Oh dear! Oh, I didn't hear anything about that. Yeah,
that's what I heard. And then, at any event, we had Ming-Na Wen just kind of showing up to bring some goodwill there. I think she's going to have a role in the movie. I don't know if she's going to be playing Mulan's mother or what. I'm not sure. I forget if she's been announced officially. I'm sure it's kind of assumed she'll show up in some capacity in the movie. All right, so Cruella, first look. What do you think?
I'm more excited about it than I thought I would be. I mean, I'm still not excited about it, but like I can acknowledge it exists and be relatively pleased by the fact that it exists. I like Emma Stone. I like the design. I like the fact that it's a period piece. I think that's the thing that sells me on it the most.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm more intrigued by it than I thought I would be as well, because it looks just remarkable. It looks like this, looks like the classic movie come to life in a sense. Just the way it's kind of laid out there. It looks, yeah.
My
Right.
canon is that this is a prequel to Glenn Close's Cruella de Vil Dragon.
Well, was that okay? It's been ages since I've seen. Was that set in the same time period as the Dalmatians?
It was set in the 90s, and this is a prequel set in the 70s.
That's okay. You might, yeah. Okay, now you know what? You might be right. Yeah, it's not.
And then what if we got a third 101 Dalmatians movie with Glenn Close after this movie?
Oh man, I don't know.
I'm blowing your mind with this shit.
You are, but I don't know. The whole 70s, that's kind of clever though. It's 70, I don't know.
Dalmatians.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder how people. I've never looked back on the 101 Dalmatians live action movie. I mean, I wonder how it stands up. I wonder how.
I think it holds up relatively well. I go back to it every so often.
I wonder. Basically, I wonder at the end of the day.
Amusingly bad.
I mean, I wonder if they would if they would legitimately entertain the notion of keeping the if going for that idea of like, okay, prequel to the Glenn Close version, or if they're just going to keep it loosey goosey. Hey, maybe it works in that headcanon, maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
All right. Okay, so last but not least.
Oh my God.
Is there anything I'm missing now?
Rhea.
The last
23 dragon.
Sorry, what?
This stole D23.
Yeah. So what? Yeah. How did it steal D23? I mean, people are loving it.
It just won. I didn't even see any footage, of course. No one has yet, except for people that were actually at the panel. But just based on premise alone, this movie looks incredible. I can't wait for this movie. I love the fact that it looks completely original. It looks like a mix between like Mulan and Kubo and the Two Strings, which is a great comparison. And yeah, I mean, this is just the exact type of animation that I want Disney to be making. Something that's ambitious, that's not a straight comedy, that shoots for a higher form of storytelling.
Oh yeah, this one very interesting. You know who was directing this? We have Paul Briggs and Dean Wellens. Now I recognize Dean Wellens. Dean Wellens was a storyboard artist on Iron Giant. Really did excellent work, by the way.
Okay.
And Paul Briggs, if I recall, he's a similar. Basically, they're both making. I believe they're both making their directorial debut. Paul Briggs may have done some smaller stuff. I want to say it's also his debut as well. But the idea is they're both storymen. Like he worked on Zootopia. I forget which Wreck-It Ralph he might have worked on. Point is, I know he worked. The most recent thing was Zootopia. I know he did Zootopia. So.
Mm-hmm.
Point being, we have some first timers. Of course, we've seen first timers do some really good work in animation. So again, I'm pulling for him. I think it's a good choice. And Dean Wellens does good work. But yeah, it's what we're doing here. This is what has my business. This is what really interests me here. The fact that they're playing on some actual dragon mythology with this movie. So the idea, again, the whole last dragon ball, that's actually part of mythology with dragons. And not all mythology, I believe in kind of with the Chinese dragons specifically. I could be wrong here, but because, again, there are a few different mythologies about dragons and stuff. The idea is that warriors would wipe out the dragons sometimes. And that's why they'd be hard to find. That's why they'd be far and few between. Some people would say, like, they ascended into the heavens or something. The point being, they went somewhere. And because they were persecuted, because like they were these great majestic beasts versus like your medieval versions of dragons, which like slay the dragon, kill the dragon, that whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is like this whole thing's set in Southeast Asia, and there are like 5 clans, and they're both kind of in the land of the dragon. From what I heard, the way I heard it described, the world building of this thing is that there's like a watery moat that resembles a long dragon that separates the 5 lands, and so it kind of separates them from each other. So it's like a proverbial dragon versus like our main characters seeking out the water dragon that is the main one of the piece, and that dragon can basically transform into a human. So it's kind of like a dragon within the, which is another thing. Sometimes dragons could shapeshift, at least in some iteration. I won't be definitive on that. You know what I'm getting at. Well, I mean, they're really playing the mythology, and I think they're treating it with a lot of respect. There could be a lot of. I think you're absolutely on the right track. It could be kind of like a Mulan sort of vibe. We're treating this. We're playing this straight. We're playing this little kind of. We're playing this as it is, like kind of a great tale, very little Kubo-esque, one could say. Yeah. It's very exciting, especially given the fact it's like the next Disney film after Frozen 2. It looks. I'm in support of it.
All right, and I think that's about it, folks.
Maybe we should go back to our route then.
Yep.
So I'd like to take the time to thank the wonderful viewers out there who joined us during our little live excursion here. That would be, of course, the wonderful Donovan Martin, followed by Pink Pearl, Disney Wishes, Pink Pearl for short, because, we're familiar. Pink Pearl rocks. As well as Donovan. Of course, we had Monkey on earlier, so he was welcome too. And of course, I hope you guys. I know we went on really long on D23, but there was a lot of stuff. There's even stuff we left off, like I believe, like Chip and Dale's Treehouse, or like not darn it.
Wait, what about Dale's Treehouse?
No,
You started on Chip and Dale's Treehouse, Dragon. You go upstairs and then you go downstairs.
All right, in all seriousness, the Chip and Dale animated show that they're doing, along with the string of.
Right. We probably skipped over any DuckTales news.
Yeah. So I mean, they of course all the various. They kind of announced that already at the Comic-Con. We kind of covered that then. So, but yeah, the point being, like, I believe they showed some stills from the Chip and Dale show that they're doing, the new Rescue Ranger show, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so of course there's a lot of stuff. So forgive us if we didn't cover every single thing, but I think we covered all the main kind of.
And also, we tried to make this both a news report and a trip report at the same time. So that's another reason why it went on considerably long. So thank you for your patience.
Yes. And thank you for your patronage. Okay, more of your patience. And patronage just sounds nice, but we're not actually asking for patronage at the moment. So.
Oh, we'll get there once we hit 1,000 subscribers, Dragon. I've got a whole plan for that.
Sure. Regardless, folks, we appreciate you. Hopefully you got a kick out of us talking about D23. We weren't just bored and just yelling at your screens like, come on! Get to the good stuff! Like, I know that! Tell me something I don't know! I know something.
Well, folks, we're doing a recap of the news, all right? If you didn't want that, then you shouldn't have watched this to begin with, all right?
Well, our viewers are smart cookies. They know what they're doing. They know what they're in for. Regardless, thanks for tuning in, folks. See you next time. Of course, we got other stuff down the pipeline. Some other Disney stuff as well.
Also, uploaded right after this, Dragon. It's in the pipeline, ready to go. I just have to click publish on it. Is episode 3 of Q the Podcast. And episode 3 is all about the queue for Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. So check that out, guys. That should be on the channel when you hear this. And of course, we've got our movie memoirs coming up at the end of the week this week for August. It's been a dry month for movies, but we'll still do it. We'll still do it. Anything else to tease, Dragon? Of course, Just Giglet grab bag tomorrow.
I guess we'll the Disney Plus talk. Let's just say we have kind of a certain finale coming up this week for a beloved show that will be no longer as it is replaced by Disney Plus, but hopefully it'll make a comeback in She-Hulk.
Right.
We'll
Actually,
see.
now that you mention it, yeah, it is a good time to do that.
Again, I'm not asking for much. Just Matt Murdock and She-Hulk. Just Matt Murdock as a starting place. Just insert him there.
Okay, folks, thank you so much for joining us. And you know what, Dragon, I think that since the viewers lasted 2 hours and 42 minutes, we're proud of our viewers.
Yes, we're proud of the views. Yes, we're proud of those views.